day number 11. My name is Gideon Q, and as well as Neptune is your casters for today. We've got a great set.
We're talking about the patches all throughout the game and how it changes. And from yet, I'm like, maybe a position or probably in a risk of being pushed down, but they still have 2 more weeks after this to work on. And well, at this point,
it's like over 180 points. And I think that like if they can
RRQ, UA Esports, and for Group C we have Ffws Divine placement thus in the
today, because we know that RRQ likes to go in early on to find that end game circle, a good position for them to play.
RRQ usually they average at 4th place by the end of the week, so being in 9th place for this week, it is a battle for them to be able to
do a up to them.
Yeah, I mean, Bigatron Delta has a good chance because of how
very quickly, right? Very, very quickly indeed. With the new performance yesterday, maybe it's going to be a little bit better today. But I am curious to see
even below when it comes to elimination against RRQ. So Twisted Minds can beef up a bit more tankier.
MUITO was real exciting with a holdout heal coming in from limit. Maybe we might get to see that today, but
plenty of medkits. You might be able to take that lucky shot, lucky jump, and then grab that booyah. But when we look MUITO right now, for the top 3 teams, we're looking at RRQ Castle, Ffws Divine, and WAG. These teams are part of Group B and C, RRQ Castle being from B, and both Ffws Divine as well as WAG from C. And I love how it's turning up, especially for Ffws Divine. 3 booyahs, and they use that to like better the chances of maintaining or keeping themselves afloat in the top 12.
It feels like Ffws Divine is very map reliant. Big points in a day. There is still a lot of improvement to be made in the upcoming maps. But then again, it's an ever-changing meta, an ever-changing play style. And these teams have been playing for quite some time. 11 full days of play against each other amongst the group. So it's going to be an ever-changing tournament meta.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we are looking at a long road ahead for all these teams, especially format is for the knockout stage. But I'm really excited on how it's going to turn up in this map, because we're about to fly through onto the OG map where everything in Free Fire has started.
Well, it's time. The default map that everyone loves sometimes hates because how simple it is, but it always brings us the greatest endgame zones, the greatest moments. It's Bermuda as we see the flight path. Let's hop on into the plane and see how this is going to pan out for everybody here today.
Now we have potential that have been happening from the past, and I'm looking at Observatory for Team Falcon as well as Bigatron Delta, whereas Bigatron Delta are the ones hunting Team Falcons and well, successfully clipping their wings. But there was an instance wherein they tried to do the same from last week before the week closed, and they were denied of moving forward. So as we can see right now, we also see Onyx Olympus as well as WA Esports on Cape Town, and they are a potential early engagement. One team might be taken out this early.
Yep, we were expecting a lot of fights, but it's been revealed as very centered towards the middle of that island. I'm curious to see how God of Wolf is going to take advantage of the situation. They've got 2 people around the area to have a look at the potential early engagement, but let's look at Hua and as well as Onyx Olympus. A couple of shots have already been taken and really good battle lines from Hua.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is distraction for them to pull in Onyx Olympus, looking at it with WA Esports, 2 on the north and 2 stacking up on the south, and part of pinch is potential to happen as well. But as you can see, Team Expand on the other side being taken down by Heavy. 2 knockdowns already, and there you have it. With only 1.5 minutes, Expand will be eliminated for Bermuda.
That's unfortunate. Trying to hold so many off angles, just the raw power of just plowing through the fire is good enough. But speaking of plowing through the fire, Cohesioncy looks really good opposite side, but hopefully Kibe isn't. Oh wait, no, it's not looking good as they're getting pushed in by Yan Bin. He's already found one, and now the man advantage is going to allow Hua to get even more aggressive. Oh, a 2-man advantage. This is going terribly for Onyx Olympus, getting flanked by a single man. Yan Bin finds 3 knocks in a short span of time.
And with that Mag 7, I mean, there's no stopping Yan Bin. at this point. Only 2 remains, or make that 1 remain, and let's see if Onyx Jack will often call this out, but Jack might look like he will be put in a box once again with 4-man strong trying to chase you out and nowhere to go. A Vivo might be taken, but how much resources do you have to survive this confrontation?
I don't know, because he's already getting shoreline here, and once you're in the water, you're basically as good as dead. Zipline gonna come through. Can Jack make it out? Can they land enough shots? And Hua does, as they eliminate Onyx in 11th place.
Not even close, not even getting to 3 minutes, and 2 teams eliminated already. This is how they feel. They need to get a lot more, especially to adjust with the new patches, as well as to get through after a few weeks of rest. And you know how teams are at some point, like it's not that they're not practicing, it's not that they're not scrimming, but it's a different scenario overall. Going in against pro teams compared, or in an actual tournament compared to just scrimming, it makes you rusty at some point on how it is in terms of tactics, rotation, and even mechanical skills a tad bit.
I mean, pre-preparation is going to be extremely important, right? The UAV going to revive you today. Oh, wait, on fire, getting traded back by ABAX. Real quick by EVOS. Now they're going to try and take on the high ground. And yeah, as you were saying earlier, I do think that a lot of teams, especially with the rotational system of the groups, if you're just caught today, you already feel the difference, right? You feel like you're a little rusty, a little like washed sometimes. But I do think it takes like two maps before we see them warm back up.
Yeah, let's see. Peter right now a little bit warmed up despite of on fire being knocked out and taken out from the beginning of that engagement, but they're fighting back. ABAX has been taken out already, and that made those Divine spread out. But who will be the next challenger? They just inserted a coin, and they want to go in for the battle. Twisted Mind. Once again, I'm looking for them to grab a lot of elimination.
Oh, yeah, but let's jump over to Torak and as well as WAG, and it looks like Torak actually handling WAG, finding plenty of knockdowns and elimination points off of that. Cyrus forced to turn advantage here coming in from Torak, allowing them to crush them quick. 55 is going to be coming through fast, so let's see how they recover.
Oh, we're seeing a few of engagement as well, so it seems like Twisted Mind has been pulled by Team Falcons to engage heavy from where they were, and that is causing a few of a takedown for the side of Twisted Mind. But for Todak, this is a different Todak that we're looking at overall. There's so much aggression, and I'm feeling that they might be winning this against the Vietnamese team of WAG. The only question is, how much does WAG has to bring back their teammates? Allen will be cornered and will be chased down, very similar to what we've seen earlier on the early parts of this game.
It seems to be happening to every team across. Todak going to continue their chase, currently with 5 eliminations on traps alone. Is looking pretty nice. To be able to clean problems whatsoever. All other fights are happening between BTR and as well as RRQ. Same goes for EVOS and Twisted Minds. Let's jump on over to catch that action with BTR locked into the middle of this fight, and RRQ putting them through the meat grinder with the Abe already down. Dutz the next to fall, and instantly Twisted Minds eliminated as we conclude this battle. 2v, I would assume it's a 2v3 at this point. I did see them knock one. They might have gotten the revive here as BTR all mess around real quick onto Razor, who's currently living longer than he probably should, but eventually still falls at the end of the day.
Yeah, and despite of all the pressure, Razor managed, or the team of RQ managed to bring back a few of their teammates, so it's not yet done for them. But we have 9 teams for elimination for Bigatron Delta, and quite surprisingly, they didn't chase against Team Falcons. They went in against RRQ, so it's very, very precautious where in RRQ, or rather, is chasing anyone who's leading the pack. And at this point, it was RRQ from the beginning of this day. I guess the Giant Slayer is still at it.
Yep, and speaking of which, God of Wolf, 3 members still alive. Oh, make it 2. Instantly, as I call out, they get caught. Falcons in kill position. They're already kill leaders so far, and just to get on out. And Falcons have been hunting for a lot of people. Oh, cool. Just Peter things, am I right?
And there's the thing. Knowing that it's only a few HP, I think Team Falcons and Peter will try to chase him out. The only question is, where he landed. but they are prioritizing and like looting up even more and going in for that vending machine, and everyone else from Team Falcon will follow. They are outside the blue though. It's only the second phase of the circle, but it is closing, so there's a lot of risk involved in here. Probably gatekeeping from the other side.
Yeah, let's see how long they actually have to run. It looks like the circle is closer towards the western side of the island from where its initial drop was. But at this point, we see that BTR is also heading towards the southern side. They might actually fall and maybe even clash with Falcon up north even further.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see as to where they will engage in a bit. So far, after all those of silence is being felt, but not for the side of Evo's Divine. I mean, they have been aggressive from when they meet a different team, and this time they have put in 2 eliminations already, or 2 knockdowns already. Let's see if God of Wolf will be able to survive that. But as we can see on minimap, it is RRQ, 1 player, or probably Surge, as to where they are, and this is a good chance they can eliminate RRQ out of this game.
Oh, both Maul and Razor, they just have to be patient, right? I'm pretty sure if they peek their heads out, they'll notice the rest of BTR is there. Razor out in the open. Does Kyung see him? They just have to turn around. They might see him. Oh, Razor back out of line of sight. I'm not sure if they spotted them, but this game of hide and seek is really high stakes for RRQ. They've got their whole squad taking plenty of gunfire, losing a majority of their members, but getting back into the ring. Oh, wait. It looks like Abe has an eastern side to walk in. He's found a way.
Yeah, I mean, found a way, found good cover as well. Very near to next phase of the circle. See on how well they can turn things around. But as you saw earlier, they are just waiting on BTR to get into the zone, and they will be towards where God of Wolf are. But I don't think the position of God of Wolf will be viable to fight against this team, and seeing how aggressive they are for every engagement before this, I think God of Wolf will be maybe just the 3 players. I'm not seeing the 4th one in this area.
Yeah, I think they heard T as well running across. Yep. Oh, does he not spot him? Oh, he does finally. He turns around, catches him off just in time, and the rest of God of Wolf have to decide, can they actually find revive? They tank the blue to get out of this engagement. But it looks like God of Wolf, it looks like they're pincered between both BTR and as well as Falcons. That's why we're not seeing Demon or Dian actually making a move. They just have to hunker down and let these other squads fight each other.
Now, smart for them if in case they can remain silent or probably bait one team so that they can get by. But Team Falcons right now hungry for more elimination, though they are a kill leader right now. They are still want more, because judging from how they started the week, that's what the triggers Team Falcon to move and pop up even more.
And if they continue to have this much inspiration, who knows what other teams are going to be able to pop off today, right?
Yeah.
And Todak sitting right smack in the center of the circle right now. They're in the third one, so there's still plenty of play area left. However, the number of structures and compounds moving heavily towards the eastern side of the eastern, especially south side, body of water that WAG is standing across.
I mean, there's the potential of water gameplay and a bridge camp that will be happening as well. But going back to Bigatron and the Team Falcons, it is bound to happen. These teams are bound to meet one way or another, and let's see who is going to win. But on the other side, YE Sports going against Evo's Divine. Knockdowns after knockdowns. Yan Bin has been taken out, and Aim God with vehicle gameplay. Will the glue wall stop him? Here comes Aim God taken down and trying to hit Shin, but managed to get away. But no! What an elimination up in the sky, shooting him like ducks.
He's going to be holding on to that IGN for a little bit longer. But now we cut back to Falcons versus BTR. The engagement is getting hot with the blue slowly closing in on Falcons' backs. Take an off angle through the smoke. He's going to get blasted through. One more spotted him on that side. Falcons look to adjust, making sure that they can't rotate in as nicely. And Aikal has to do his best to keep them at bay. Let them get shredded, force them to reset. It looks like they have their spots, but it's not going to be easy with their wide open.
Wide open indeed. Let's see if Falcons can defend Bigatron Delta. A little too aggressive, but in 20 seconds, the blue is about to close, corrupt any tactics. But no, only Kuro remains. Team Falcons eliminated once again. The Giant Slayer has done it again.
Good job. Big Nate there. Find so fast, and now they're on to their next mission, right? We're seeing that GOW just watch the massacre from the northern side with Heavy right next to them. They're trying to stay obscure. They're trying to stay under the radar, but Heavy actually taking elimination leader right now. That's an interesting sign because Heavy has been picking people off from the sidelines with their full squad.
And that's one thing that they should do more often. I mean, not really showing up in any engagement, but from a distance, try and get as much elimination as possible. But let's see. We have the Blanche pod being used by GOW. GOW Ton has been knocked down and being left by those flying in, and it might spell trouble for the God of Wolf. But speaking of trouble, here is RRQ trying to block WAG in their approach, trying to slow them down, giving distraction at the bottom of this bridge.
Wait, where does that nade come from? From what direction? Whoa. Evil's wanting to get involved in this as well. I mean, pretty shafted, I'm not gonna lie. There's no real place to move, and if they do, it's an open killing floor on that right side, the high ground owned by Todakan as well as Evos, and they're just waiting for these little birds to fly.
Yeah, I mean, I love what WAG has been doing so far, finding the final circle, getting a few eliminations on the way, but we last saw them 0. I mean, they are remaining silent, but silent doesn't mean that they're not seeing you, because throughout by different teams. But Demon has been taken down, God of Wolf will be eliminated, and we are down to 5 teams remaining. Circle going to 6.
Todak in a really great position, but they've got to hold it, and that's the hardest part, with Kabi already taking down Wings, forcing a knock and forcing them to actually relieve pressure off of that south side, with 2 teams still clashing heavily against each other. Evos, they don't mind. They're sitting on the northern side of the ring, and they can just wait.
Yeah, play space indeed. Anyone who pops up will be shot at, especially with how the split is being done. The trouble will be on that side where RRQ is, because once WAG moves in, able to pull in Todak as well, and that can spell more trouble for RRQ being outside of the next circle.
As they start making their way in, dudes, an M60, man, 2 in a matter of fact, ready to stand off and blast through glue walls. Let's see how Evos handles it, right? Because they've already got Heavy in their sights. RRQ surprisingly not taking a lot of damage. Doesn't look like Todak had line of sight. It looks like Todak will have to fight them on that right side against RRQ while Heavy takes on Evos. Very fair gaming here, as we see Todak getting real aggressive, dashing in towards RRQ. They 2 for 1 so far, 2 for 2. They're looking for that third, but unfortunately, they don't turn around towards the blue side. It's not going to go well, and yes, that's going to be Todak winning this engagement out. If dudes, oh no, backed against the wall, forced Todak. They've got a really good chance to win this all.
Who is this team? Is this Todak? This is not what Todak that we've been seeing for the first half of knockout stage, and I love how it's their 4v1. WAG will have to just hide this out, but let's see if Ray will be able to take down Cyrus in between the 2 teams, being stuck. Nowhere to go, and Todak not even giving any distraction to pull them out, but they were pulled out in here, and that WAG can't do anything about that. 4v4, Todak, more chances will be given to Todak at this point.
Evos dashing in to quickly try and flank them. They trade 2 for 1. Sorry, 2 for 1 in favor of Todak. And now they're trying to turn around. They've regrouped. They managed to take out 1. Still very close, 2v2. Now in 2v1, they can turn this corner and manage to trade 1 for 1. I think that'll be worthwhile. And it looks like it's going well. They fight, and now Todak in position for this booyah. Unless Ray has something to say. He takes out and he gets both of them in 1 swing. Oh, the unfortunate timing of that wide swing. Evilist Divine take the booyah of the very first map today here on Bermuda.
Another clutch gameplay out of this team. And as you look at the seeds, they 2 players have been left alone. Says, oh, we know you can handle us. We can step up. We can step out of the scene, out of the frame, and we know that you can grab that booyah. And there we have it. Evilist Divine, first amazing fashion.
A lot of our bottom side teams now really changing it up, making it to the very end and qualifying ahead of us here. Very first booyah here by Evilist Divine. Well played. The weight of that hair really makes the difference.
Yeah, I mean, it does make a difference. But speaking of difference, I did mention that it's a different Todak that we're seeing overall. Second place and a lot of elimination. If I'm not mistaken, there's very close, around 15 and 16 between Evo's Divine as well as Todak. So if it wasn't for that Booyah, Todak might have taken number one in this game. But let's take a recap based on the highlight that we have eliminated early in this game and Evo's Divine. This is where everything started. Aggressiveness plus the good aim. They're just raking all those points.
Yeah, a lot of teams being extremely aggressive here, right? Take down the forward standing glue walls, immediately look to dash into your opponent. And it becomes actually a hold with no real way to actually maintain a position like that unless you've got some kind of high ground to overlook the entire battlefield. These endgame scenarios really just comes down to who pulls that trigger first.
Yeah, I mean, it pulls the trigger and close the game because earlier at this point in time, we were thinking that Todak is the one who's grabbing the Booyah because the is different monster overall, and it's growl their way into that Booyah. And let's see if who will be the ones interview later. And we were looking at the highlights of the knockout stages before that match, and I would love to see a best growl from this team.
The best growl. Hopefully it's going to be exciting. Hopefully it's something that they've been practicing for this very moment, in a matter of fact, because that would be a good clip, and especially for the recap tomorrow. It's really going to spice things up.
Yeah, well, with that said, we are seeing a few teams really popping off this time, but for Twisted Mind, they started well and that engagement, but looking at the numbers, I don't think they put up so much because they were watching him, but in terms of the kill feed, they were the ones on losing end. So this is not the Twisted Mind that we want to see. They might have heard me being aggressive, going aggressive, even winning the fight, not losing them.
Yeah, man, that's a very, very thin margin here. Very, very thin. With that being said, we're going to be throwing it over to who we're having a chat with.
Congratulations, Ffws Divine! This is the first Booyah today in the first game. Wow, I'm so excited. And everyone, I'm Baby Lee. Before we start the next game, in the second game especially, I want to talk with one of the player in Ffws Divine first. Hi, Ray.
Hi.
Okay, first of all, players play online. Is there any difference that you feel?
Oke, pertama-tama kita mau tanya, kan beberapa player mainnya online ya, terpisah kalian. Ada nggak sih perbedaan yang kamu lain?
Perbedaannya sih paling di komunikasi, karena kita kan mainnya online jadi komunikasi kita mungkin kurang lancar aja. Tapi itu kita bisa atasin kok.
The difference is in the communication because we played separately, but we need to be more consistent and clear with our communication.
Oh, communication. But you got the Booyah in the first game. Wow. Okay, so which team do you challenge? Maybe Thailand teams, Vietnam, or Malaysia?
Tim mana yang mau kamu tantang? Apakah itu tim dari Thailand atau Vietnam atau Malaysia? Ada gak?
Mau tantang tim Vietnam aja. Tim Hawa.
We want to challenge Vietnam team, Team Hawa.
Vietnam team.
Hua.
Esports. All right, Hua Esports. Okay, so last but not least, you have a message maybe for them? Hua Esports?
Gak kalah penting, kamu ada nggak sih pesan-pesan untuk Hua Esports?
Buat Hua, tunggu aja di Sirnes. Kita berangkat tar.
Right, Serenade.
Oh, for Hua, please wait for us in Rhines. We will get there.
Oh my God. Can I get your celebration style?
Pak Vincent.
Oh, what is that? What is that? All right.
Sama kunci satu. Aduh.
Okay. I really like your answer and thank you so much for your time. Good luck for Ffws Divine and Indonesian teams because we still have 5 games today. We will see how each team perform. And Shoutcaster, take it away.
Indonesia's gonna love that one. They're gonna love that one. Very classic as well. True to their name and true to their countrymen. It's great to have an interview with an Indonesian. I swear, it's always a good time.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed because Ray didn't give us a growl. I was expecting that, like when he was asked by Baby Lee, but well, it is what it is right now. They are doing well. Evo's Divine really has a good chance to put themselves in a better position. Like they were below 10 in terms of position overall. But let's head over to our prediction and. Yeah, looks similar. We didn't copy. We give this privately. We gave this our prediction privately based on a assumption on how they played, and the only changes is why there's a slight change in how I'm looking at Team Falcon Twisted Mind is because I'm expecting them to be a little bit better compared to what we've seen them overall at this point in knockout stage.
I mean, when I was looking at the way that I look at it, they're both exactly the same points. I feel like personally, to me, they're pretty interchangeable at this point. It really depends on who's hotter today, and maybe for the next couple of days. I mean, previously I put some of the other teams, but they haven't been looking too hot, especially yesterday and even like the weeks before. Right? They haven't been able to get enough points to actually qualify for that slot yet, and especially with Bermuda, like basic map ever. It's one of those things where it's like if we're not performing on Bermuda, it's going to be a pretty slow day.
Yeah, definitely. And we're looking at an MVP, Ray, with 8 eliminations, 2,654 on the damage, and 5 headshots. Now, while during the interview, I was looking at the stats of Evo's Divine as well. There's no surprise, if we look at the stats, why they grabbed the Booyah, because all the 4 Booyahs that they have came from Bermuda. This is the best map that they had out of the 10 games that they played, and they were averaging a total of 16.2 per game. So that is one thing that Evo's Divine can do. The only question is, how will they do on the other maps?
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they're going to perform on the other maps because again, a lot of it with the map knowledge that ends that this is why they're one of the better teams here on Bermuda. But hopefully we do see the same fundamentals being applied to some of the other maps, because then they would be a pretty scary team if they have that sort of level of understanding.
Yeah, I mean, understanding. Speaking of understanding, we saw a glimpse of the characters, and there are a few changes, especially when I saw McKay in the mix. Survivability, the master of all, putting an increase of 50 on a max EP, and that can help them as well. A124 has been used, and probably that's the reason as well why Evo's Divine grabbed that Booyah. But in terms of elimination, it's 7 from Teodak with 9, and I am quite surprised how 7 managed to pull that off. Well, to be honest, for Todak to pull it off, because a lot of eliminations, second place, we were not expecting them because of how far they are. But again, when push comes to shove, that's what they do.
Yep. I mean, they definitely had initially they were holding some really good positions overall. They didn't want to press their advantages. They really took their time, similar to how Heavy was playing the game, and eventually overtook them in terms of overall eliminations at the end of that match, right? So once they were on fire and once it's that 4v4, it's you throw anything at the wall to try and make it work. And we see the total points at the end of it. They're not too far away, with Evo's Divine at 28 with 60 elimination points. But then we look at Todak with 15 elimination points. They were just 1 off for a total of 24.
Yeah, I mean, Todak right now looking good. And this brings them around 70 points to the top 12. Given that Bigatron, Delta, Star, Knights, will Heavy will not be making any points. Well, Star Knights Esports won't be because they won't be playing today, but as we look at the overall state for Todak to reach that top 12, and the other teams didn't move that much apart from Team Falcons and Twisted Mind. They were tied, but Falcons just left them behind because they only grab a few points for Twisted Mind today, and it's not looking good for the team.
Yep. If they're not getting 150 points a day, it's going to be quite the struggle to make it into top 12, especially if you're not within the standings already, right? Teams who are currently already in that top 12, especially if they're in that lower bracket, definitely have to position.
Definitely, I mean, position-wise, not only works within the game, but also in overall placement. and that is what they need to about to begin. I'm really excited on how this will work for Purgatory, because Bermuda has been the best game, the best map for Evo's Divine, but looking at it in terms of stats, they are currently at 6 overall between this group, or 7 rather, so push them down a little bit further down the line, and RRQ might be able to redeem themselves this time.
I mean, the true question is whether or not BTR are going to be hot on the hunt, right? They've taken down some of the bigger teams already, and it's definitely something that some of these top dogs have to consider now. They're a legitimate threat. They've consistently taken their team early on if the situation presents itself. So hopefully, when they come down, BTR is going to be on their hit list of teams to take out early.
Yeah, I mean, Bigatron Delta has been a threat, and I'll say annoying for the other teams, because even if there's only a few difference in terms of points between the teams, once BBR goes in there, there's no holding back. Even if they lose their players or they lose their chance, they just want to prove that we stepped in to this season of FFWS Southeast Asia, and we're going to make a name for ourselves, and that's what they're doing right now.
They're making it tough. They're making it real tough, especially every single time you go into an engaged BTR, you're walking away with heavy casualties, whether it's from your currency or whether it's reviving your squat mates in general to get your man back, your man to full strength. I mean, hopefully with Purgatory, there's going to be a lot more space to actually work with to drag out these fights and maybe even find collisions with some of the other teams. But that's on the condition that, you're already dropping in a pretty hot spot to begin with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have to see if there will be any more hot drops right here. Hopefully, they watch and review the drop spot of the other teams. But one thing for sure, with the rotation of the group, some teams will not stick religiously to where their drop spot is. They make those adjustments, or hopefully they make those adjustments, although might be faltering every time they fail engagement on the early parts of a map. But we're going to go in and fly through Purgatory, neither or hell. Let's see what they will be offering.
Place between life and death, the place where most are stuck in, waiting opportunity to decide their fate here. It's Purgatory, as we're going to see the flight path for this map. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. I know between me and you, Neptune, we've been seeing great, just the S tier, the Michelin, the 5 Michelin star flavors of flight paths.
Yeah, I mean, hoping otherwise. Hopefully this will be a rough and cruel flight path. Early engagement and early elimination is what we want to see, because the pressure at some point shows how it will end up in the grand finals. But as we can see, a lot of teams already dropped up, and there you have it. My wish has been granted. They are really right now unable to reach the areas like campsite or lumber mill, even fire brigade.
Dang, G7. That's a rough flight path, right? As you mentioned, the southeastern side of the map is going to be pretty inaccessible, especially when the ring is pulling towards the southwestern side of the map. We see that Hua engagement. Maybe Falcons are going to pop their head in, say hi to their new neighbors early on, depending whether this team gets into an argument.
I mean, in terms of numbers, Hua Esports has great numbers or percentages in terms of winning this gunfight. Expando, they are, I'm sorry to say, but they're the worst team when it comes to Group B and C in this, and only totaling 19 on the placement and 23 on the elimination. And that's not a good number when it comes to this stage of the competition.
Yeah, it really isn't here. I mean, considering that Torak is stepping, that Expand are going to look at that and be like, yeah, we could do that too. We should be aggressive. We should probably make some reckless decisions as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's see if the reckless decision can pay up this time. But Aim God will be taken out, and once again, the Booyah will be too confident to try it again, even in 1v1, because seems like that's what happened with Alan and one of the players of Evo Divine. But Evo Divine is going in for the chase, and let's see where Alan will be running to. I'm not seeing anyone from WAG to just trip over that glue wall and will be eliminated.
Yeah, one of the bigger problems of having a larger map is that the landscape can be uncomfortable. Kyong, about to be knocked, but Cole pinched by the members of Falcon. As they start taking the space here, they should be able to start taking down Kyung as well as Peter gets into a vehicle of his own to quickly regroup. It's already down for the count. For the meantime, as long as they get this, it should be free pickings afterwards. That's 2 so far, and it's looking good, but as they're getting revealed by the UAV, it's like Falcon's going to be completely losing one member, 3v2 now at this point. And BTR, they need to make a choice. Continue on with this fight? Are they confident in winning out against a man disadvantage, or are they going to just back away? And it looks like they already have one revive purchase down, going over to the second to bring back the full squad.
In terms of confidence, BTR does have confidence. Looking at the 2 players that was left behind, they're still in the same area. On Fire, on the other hand, is trying to chase down Koja with that vehicle, and with the wrong turn, wrong move, then that Fire to lose this battle. But now On Fire will be rushed, and Koja brings him down. And let's see on how will it work with the remaining 2 players. Not only are they lacking in terms of manpower, but also in HP, and Ekal brings him down.
No, unfortunate. They did not communicate the position. That just means another member of Falcons down, but their full squad isn't out just yet, as Kororo able to kind of hold the position for now. They're sending in the full force. Kyung as well. They get the re-knock here, but unless they take that's a full squad wipe for BTR. They've taken down Falcons so early on.
Oh my goodness. BTR against the Falcons, despite when we thought that it would have been Team Falcons who won that game, bringing 2 out of that engagement. Managed to bring them back, and then a little bit stronger. Team Falcons need to change a few of their tactics. But speaking of change of tactics, Expand. When we were talking about this team earlier, they were in, I would say, numbers would be at a loss compared to the other team. But 5 elimination early in this game, and I guess they pushed away anyone who wants to contest the area that they're in.
I mean, so far so good for Expand, right? I mean, they're contesting elimination leader in this very first phase so early on. We'll see whether this is going to be a consistent performance throughout the match, but we'll see, right? We'll see whether they're going to be playing inner circle or outer circle. They usually don't survive long enough to be able to, like, really tell what their strategy of the day is going to be. But looking at God of Wolf right now, here by Marble Work, really making sure that every side is going to be clear.
Yeah, they need to clear that area that they can have a good opening for the next phase of the circle. But there's no clearing that easily, especially when Eva's Divine is lined up or primed up to go in for the challenge. And Ton right now being hunted, and there goes Ray once again from afar. Pocket market of 100% every time he gets that, and well, it's not easy to buy back a lot of things, especially with that pocket market, but Ray is pulling it off, especially when you get all those eliminations to your side.
Let's see how many more eliminations they can actually achieve here so far. 2 for Eva's Divine at this point of time. After finding the initial takedown onto GOW, they're forced to turn away. But I did notice behind GOW, we did see Onyx, and it looks like they want to take the high ground here, away from RRQ. They split into 2, and now making first contact with RRQ, they're going to divert all their attention.
Kiba right now in trouble, side rhythm, and there goes the rush. Managed Tatsuya dash out of, and let's see if the backup will work for them. Here comes Abe with his own Rebel rush and the takedown as well. 2 down already, and on rolling out RRQ, proving that they are not out just yet. They want to grab a few more points out of this map of Purgatory.
Really unfortunate for Onyx there. They decided to split 2 for 2 to cover as much ground as possible. But let's cut over to Heavy for a second, running away from members of BTR. Looks like Get Nice is all by himself, unfortunately, with all the members of BTR swarming around him. Reinforcements, they make a U-turn. Nothing much they can really do about that.
And not so much really as to just to get away from BTR. But one player from Heavy will be left behind, and that is Kabi, and I think Ekal has spotted them. Ekal will win this in 1v1, but here comes backup as well. Koja will be taken down, and help Will not really help them. Only Ecal remains. Grenade launcher being used by Heavy. That has brought Bigatron Delta to their knees. Ecal needs to run to the vending machine. He's one of their teammates, and that is the plan, plus the vehicle to get away.
Yo, he's still getting blasted from that far. What a shot, a triple kill secured. What, that was such a rude awakening for BTR. I don't think they were expecting it too. But our elimination leaders expand right now as they face off against Twisted Minds under the bridge.
The Axel has been knocked down. Exposé right now healing up, but Mickett is buying any time. He's going for the rush and pulling them in as Expand goes in for the split. But Twisted Mind, we know how this works. They are a team that doesn't go down that easily. Another grenade launcher elimination coming from this team or teams from in this period of them with 4. Now with Twisted Mind, aggressiveness was flawless at that point. Will that work with the other teams? Because they need work.
Was the patch this devastating? I don't remember seeing launchers getting that big of a buff anyways, but looks like maybe in Purgatory there's some hidden main resistance stopping them from. Mine's not too far away, but Tora coming in, as well as RRQ from the high ground. We'll see how that.
WAG might be meeting up with God of Wolf. That is posing in. UAV will not see anyone, and WAG might be able to go in and rush this, especially if they spot at least one of the players. And there you go. Jump on the high ground, knowing that they have potential, and will be falling to his death. Unfortunate for GOW with a trade-off onto Allen, and Ton will try to bring a lot more grenades being pushed in, and unable to revive will be Cyrus backs off.
Well, they're gonna have to try and fight this in one out. It's gonna be a really important position to play in, especially since the next ring is very, very close, pulling down towards the southwestern side once more. So whoever wins this is gonna have a free pass into the ring. See, is taking significant damage coming in from WAG, our current elimination leaders. They are hot on their trail. They can't seem to break into this compound. Maybe they're actually go for the rush.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, they are linked right now with that therapy, and Cyrus is just probably they're just getting information before they really through, because X4 has a high ground, and though he has a high ground, doesn't have so much of an opening to shoot them down. So this is just them getting so much until they have an opening. And with that, FGL, has been pushed. Though with the glue wall, the melters will be thrown, and T might be taken out.
This is using a lot of resources. Even if WAG ends up winning out this fight, or even if GOW wins this fight, there's not going to be a lot of resources to find any resistance walking into that ring, because this is taking a long time, and luckily nobody else is getting involved. But I'm seeing just the corners of the map. The Twisted Minds probably has a rough idea of what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, they are hearing the gunshots. Aggression is on them, and I think they are closing in. If not, they will just be waiting until the gun battle dies down. But with that launch pad, Demon managed to get away. Yes, a few hits, but that will not damage their approach, leaving Ton behind. This might be trouble for GOW. But Twisted Mind right now, they were expected to surprise both teams. They're on the crosshair of X-Bor, and we know how it is when it comes to the snipe. X-Bor not let this go.
He is very aware, and Twisted Minds are also aware. Everybody dropping to the ground straight away, especially because those glue walls might not be able to protect them. And now we see Exposi making sure, trying to put some punishment onto GOW as they make their way up the hill. So making it to the bridge on this highway, it's going to be a pretty tough fight, but at the very least, it's only one angle to worry about.
One angle indeed, and let's see if Diamond can lead the team. Pillars after pillars. Gunshot. Trogan didn't do so much of a job as Exposé goes down. Twisted Mind backs off in the best timing to pull them in, trying to distance themselves as well into the edge of the next circle because they don't want any more trouble coming from the other team.
Yep. On the high ground on the tallest hill, we do see RRQ and as well as Todak playing on the outer compound here. That's probably towards the north side of the map, and just the mines with the next ring already pulling down. This is a little, with RRQ on top of that hill, walking in ain't going to be easy considering the amount of noise they had in that previous engagement.
Yeah, and as we look into the position, Twisted Mind time, because with all those engagement, eyes will be on them, but nope, Evo's Divine. It's just unfortunate that X4 only have a few HP remaining, and the blue is eating him up with only a few more seconds before that heal goes through. Bigatron Delta still alive, heavy on a high ground, fighting off a Todak.
Yeah, and it looks like RRQ are making sure that Twisted Minds are not able to crawl up on their own flank. They're letting Heavy, allowing Heavy to actually walk up here. And the closer they get, that's when they start. Might as well not waste our time here. They need them alive to actually push Todak out of position, considering that the next ring might just be revealed. We do see a knock onto Han so far from Aikal on the lower half of the map here. Towards the eastern side, very difficult spot to play from with so many different elevations. Even Todak falling within the crosshairs of Aikal. He's putting a lot of damage on the board.
And being pinched by both Bigatron Delta and Todak really has brought Heavy to their knees. Kyong a little bit too aggressive though. The plan of approach of Bigatron Delta is to line up in addition to be taken solo. X4 still doing work on this team who's out in the open.
Yeah, they're just getting picked off here. And BTR, they losing their frontliners, their rushers, have to win this fight. They don't have any more support. They're dropping down the blue wall melters. And then he's already turned the corner. Finds it straight away, a quick dash. Using their advantage in numbers to just overwhelm them. And BTR are eliminated in 5th. It's Todak once again. 3 eliminations. Not as hot as their previous game, but getting some really good positional points.
Going over to the other side of this mountain, Twisted Mind on the lower ground. They pinned in there for longest time. RRQ was just waiting and stopped in, and that's what they did. 6th elimination, only 3 remains for both sides. Let's see who's going to take this Booyah. But I love how Todak is turning up. They placed 2nd earlier, and they are still in a chance to grab a Booyah right here. Balance between these two teams, but we know how it ended up on the first map. It might be the same for Todak, hoping for the best.
Yep. And now they're going to try and close that distance. Try to get as close as possible, especially towards those pine trees. Wide angle here, Wings. Trying to make sure that it doesn't get forked out. Riptide Rhythm on 1. Razor going for the full engagement. Wings a little slow to react, but manages to keep himself alive. Dropping down the chrono. Get the weaponary. Has to use that Trogon instead. He needs to win this 1v1 to open up a hole for Todak to get back in. As they trade 1 for 1. Traps is already down. But Todak needs to win this in 2. With 1 down from the side of RRQ. If they can get the revive, that'd be great. They eliminate the knockdown. Now it's going to be the full 2v1 RRQ. The push and pull is just too good for Todak to handle. A 2nd place finish for them, but RRQ right back on top with a Booyah of their own.
Oh my goodness, a pattern emerges. And this is the 4th Booyah of RRQ in this map, similar to what we've seen in Evo's Divine. The Bermuda for today is their 4th as well, and they're on the top of their game right now. But Todak, I mean, I know they put up so much of effort, they are showing so much, but that Booyah is just getting away from them, just inches away, and they could have grabbed a few more points.
They honestly could have gotten a couple more points, but it's really, really tough, right? Consistent pressure from every team that they've come into contact with. Even Heavy, WAG, walking up to them every single time, thinking that they can take their superior position. It looks like their gunfighting in Squad 4v4 isn't that great, but overall, with their decision-making and especially their reads on the ring, happen extremely accurate.
Yeah, I mean, it's going for Todak right now, and they're only 6 points below Heavy, and like in terms of top 12, they're needing around 70 in the points. So with how they are showing up in first 2 map, it will be no surprise if they can get close, probably jump into the top 12 today.
We'll see whether or not they actually make it. It's tough to say, right? Because again, these past 2 maps, you've seen that again, these early engagements have really been costing a lot of the big dog teams to really rethink their strategy about the mid game, right? Knowing that I think it's a smarter choice to actually play it a lot safer during the mid game rather than early, and then find your way into the ring where you can net yourselves maybe even 12 eliminations down the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I would say that's one of the usual tactics that we see from the top dogs. Just stay like unspotted, or probably get a few elimination from afar, and then once it's only a few players or a few teams remaining, that's where you get their booyah, as well as a lot more on the points. But Todak, again, I love how it's turning up. Those to you, I want to see more for the next few maps, because this is a chance for you to get out of the bottom part of the overall. But let's head over to the interview and hear what they had to say from the Booyah team. Maybe in a bit.
And we're hopeful. We're hopeful.
We're hopeful. Yeah.
We're hopeful that eventually it's going to pop up.
Right. RRQ, let's go.
Congratulations, RRQ! Make some noise, everyone! Wow, this is the second Booyah in the second game. And as usual, I'm Baby Lee. Before we start the next game, I want to chit chat with RRQ player. Hi, dude. I'm so sad girl. All right, you almost got the first place in the overall standing. Are you sure you can keep up with Buriram's position this week?
Kalian kan hampir mendapatkan tempat pertama nih di posisi kalian. Kalian tuh yakin nggak sih bisa menyamakan level kalian dengan posisinya Buriram di minggu ini?
Di minggu ini yakin sih. Paling beda-beda tipis lah.
Sure that we can keep up with Buriram's position for this week.
Wow, so confident. Who is the strong team so far, in your opinion?
Menurut kalian atau menurut kamu, siapa tim yang paling kuat sejauh ini?
Bigetron.
Bigetron?
Ya, karena dia
Bigetron?
tadi potong-potong rotasi lah.
Bigetron because they...
So ring for your time, right? So, in your opinion, what makes Bigetron Delta so strong?
Menurut kamu, apa yang membuat Bigetron Delta itu sangat kuat?
Nggak tahu. Kuat aja. Nggak tahu. Kuat aja. Jago dia.
Okay. I'm not sure, but
Uh-huh.
I think they're really strong.
All right. So, last but not least, maybe you have a message for King.
Terakhir tapi nggak kalah penting, kamu mungkin ada pesan yang mau disampaikan ke Kingdom?
Ya buat Kingdom dukung kita terus lah. Kita dihujat terus lah.
Okay, so for Kingdom, please keep supporting us. Don't bully us.
All right. Thank you so much, dude. And good luck for RRQ, Kazu. And now, we will see how each team performs today. And I hope Indonesian teams can give us better performance in the best performance today. So, Shoutcaster, take it away.
Thank you very much, Baby Lee, as well as Dudes. I mean, couldn't agree more with Dudes right there. Fun is a strong team overall. It might not show in the standings, but when it comes to who they're challenging, as well as Team Falcons being taken down twice already by this team, so that probably is a reference of RRQ Dudes as to why to point out Bigetron Delta as a strong team.
It feels like you're walking towards a landmine. I know they nerfed it, I know they nerfed it down to 160 damage, but man, when you face up against BTR, it feels like the old landmine all over again, right? You just don't expect it. You don't expect them to catch you in the middle of your rotation, and I think that's something to keep in mind for a lot of. This is 2 for 2 so far. Third time in, that's when they really have to address the problem.
Yeah, well, let's see. Let's see if they'll be able to address it or they just letting go. But let's check out the MVP for this game. It's Abe from RRQ. 5 elimination, 2,043 on the damage, and 3 headshot. He is wearing that Tatsuya similar to what I'm wearing right now. And we have Joseph as well as Andrew Awaken and Nairi. So Nairi has been nerfed but still being pulled out in the battlefield. So this is what I'm talking about. Some teams still maintain their usual, I would say, setup and their usual loadout, and then they try to make the best out of it, and then find out what needs to be adjusted for the following week.
Well, to be fair, they do have two rushers, right? Somebody that can, like, they don't necessarily need to experiment. Others who actually can start to experiment to have some diversity in their composition thus far. I mean, we look at everybody else and we're seeing that, you know, yes, the rushers are Abe specifically getting a majority of the eliminations, but behind, following up with 4 assists.
Yeah, I mean, this, I would say, the entirety of that game is thanks to Razor, because he managed to bring back a few of their teammates before. But oh my, I was surprised to see 10 elimination, but I do expect a lot from X-Force, who was just he was just farming elimination in a sniper from that roof with the position of the ridge for the other teams as well. Out in the open, easy 6K on the damage for X-Force.
No way! As the last remaining member of the scenario and still farming, I was surprised because he single-handedly ruined the opportunities of BTR. He ruined the opportunities of so many teams already just by staying alive. That being said, RRQ are walking away with 21 total points, 9 from eliminations and 12 from the Booyah, but WHE just behind them with an equivalent amount of points because of those 10 elims.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the Booyah, WHE will be on the top, but I love how it's turning out for WHE as well as Heavy. They from their position and managed to bring themselves further away from Todak, because we've seen how Todak has been performing, and it's only a small gap between them earlier before that match ended, but Heavy knows what they need to do, and they did it.
Honestly, considering the performances of some of these teams, BTR and as well as Todak looking to be some good competitors to make it into that top 12. I mean, yes, there is still like roughly an 80-point difference between them to make it into that top 12. But if they continue their progress right now and they continue consistently getting at least 20 points by the end of today, really shorten that gap. And I'm hopeful to get a lot of eliminations, so maybe they can touch at least top 12 for a little bit before they stop playing for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they're very, very close. Only 4 points needed for BTR to reach the top 12. But that is risk of pushing Onyx Olympus down. So Indonesia will not be happy with if that happens. But again, it's a battle. Everything needs to be put into perspective when you are trying to go in, especially in the point rush as well as the grand finals. But that ends it for 2 match already for today. We are going to go for a quick break. When we return, we continue the battle for the FFWSC Fall.
I'm like circle. When I'm hanging with my friends, I can circle it. I can find anything, circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it. Can you circle it? Cause I can circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it.
Onyx Olympus still holding on. Onyx Olympus scores a hat trick in today.
Buat hari ini sih nggak ada, soalnya kan kita yang Booyah.
Just say onto half health is lost, Razor. It's just down to do something for Ram AJ.
Buriram secures. Booyah number 1. And
6 เลย
attack all around. Pokey trying to survive. Riptide Rhythm drops the defenses. Malaysia.
Circle it. Circle. You can find anything if I circle it. Let me circle it. I'm like circle. When I'm hanging with my friends, I can circle it. I can find anything if I circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it. Can you circle it? Cause I can circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it.
Limit has been healing up a little bit too early. And no! Denied! Limit for the Booyah!
เล่นลั่นๆอ่ะลั่นกว่านี้ผมบอกเลยลั่นแน่แหละ
Will be surviving that, and there you go, 1v4. Only two remain. PE Sports Vietnam grabs that Booyah.
Sắp tới thì tụi mình sẽ cố gắng kiếm được nhiều điểm nhất này.
Two Raz on a sliver of health, barely surviving. It might end up being.
ต้องกังวลครับที่พวกผมเล่นแบบนี้ก็มันเล่นยากด้วยครับแล้วมันเป็นแพทใหม่ด้วยแล้ววันแรก
Now circle. Caramel still surviving. He must have run out of health kits. I think that's gonna be it for Caramel. Oh my God, Caramel!
ก็ฝากเชียร์ทีม AG ด้วยครับพวกเราจะเอาแชมป์ให้ได้ครับในรายการนี้ครับ
Circle it. Circle. You let me circle it. You can find anything if I circle it. Let me circle it. I'm like circle. When I'm hanging, I can find anything if I circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it. Can you circle it? Cause I can circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it.
Wait a minute. Are you? Quadra kill. Dominant.
Welcome back to the show in this Free Fire World Series Saudi Asia 2024 Fall Edition. So far, 2 matches has been done and dusted, and Indonesia has taken 2 of the Booyahs, but it looks for the Malaysian team Todak because it seems like they are a different team over. For those of you who's just jumping in right now, I am Neptune the Gentleman Garcia. Together with me is the one and only Gideon Q, and will be the voices that you'll be hearing all throughout the day.
I have to agree with you. I think that right now, Todak definitely looking like they had a bit of a paradigm shift of their own. They're playing a little different. They're finding a little bit of success here and there. But the real question is whether or not it's going to be persistent throughout. It's just going to be on the first half and they gas out on the latter half. I think that's what we're most worried about. But some of the other teams that we're excited to see, I mean, WAG have been doing pretty decent. Even Heavy has been finding just a little bit of success here and there, but unable to get over the final hurdle to make it into at least like top 3 or even top 2.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if they'll be able to pull it off this time around. And this talking about Todak, #1 spot for the day, 37. Though Evos, they got Booyah, and they are on 2nd place with 36. But when we look at RRQ, this only shows that their performance is on and off, and this is not what we expect from RRQ. Being 2nd, or they have grabbed that #1 on knockout stage. What is happening with RRQ? That is a question, though. Hopefully, they can make those adjustments, bring themselves a little bit higher by the end of this day.
And I think the answer to that is BTR. How much contact have they had with Bigatron Delta? We heard it in the interview that they have been a little annoying to deal with all across the board. But now that we go over to Alpine, we're expecting that Kazu has adjusted completely to the lobby so far. Attack All Around and Buriram United Esports, both of which aren't playing today, also doing very well on this map. And so far, we haven't seen other teams really catch up to that performance.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll have to see if they will be able to do so. There's still hope for Twisted Mind, especially in this map, because After RRQ, they will be followed by Twisted Mind and Hua Esports for the top 3 for this group in Alpine. As we look at stars that we must watch, we have X4 with that awesome 10 elimination, double digits for this guy on the snipes, and Abe with 5 elimination as well, and also with Kabi from Heavy. Kabi pulled off a triple on that grenade launcher from the previous game, and that was just mind-blowing.
Yup, really clutched up big time, landing a double initially and already taking down another further away with just the launcher alone. Really sent shivers down your spine. For those who haven't watched it yet, you probably want to click back. Click back, pull it back to find that play, or just wait till tomorrow. I'm sure it's going to be in the recap. Nobody will miss that moment.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we love to see that once again, not only in the replay, but on the actual games. And this we have. We're off to start match number 3 on Alpine. And again, this is Group B and C. So for those of you cheering, you will see them by tomorrow. With RRQ, still a huge chance. 3 Booyahs grab in this map, even beating a lot of teams in the number of placement points. But in terms of elimination, they are averaging around 9.3, so not too shabby for the team really, but they have to show up because this is data from the first half of knockout stage, before the break and before the patch.
Personally, I don't think much is going right. Getting into CQC range, especially in Alpine, really depends on where I would say third ring is going to land, whether it's in a more urban area or one of the peaks that we expect to see here at Alpine. And that's a lot of calculations to actually input for your build. You can't always be prepared for every combat scenario.
Yeah, I mean, that's why a lot of teams are really, driving in terms of because of the dynamic of how it is, especially in Free Fire. So let's see if they can pull anything out of that magic hat, because we're going to jump into Alpine right now. A little bit hot, a little bit cold, but a heated battle is about to start.
Get right into it. People body count for those who try to climb Everest is almost in the tens of thousands, but they haven't heard about Alpine, where bodies drop all the time. Right away, let's see the flight path. We have one skewed flight path today, breaking the streak of good flight paths between you and me, Neptune. Let's have a look at what it's going to turn out at the end of today. We'll calculate the averages for you.
I want to see 2 for 3. In
2 for 3?
Rough and cruel flight path, but no. I mean, Alpine doesn't want to give me that, but let's see on how the hot drops will be turning up right now. Based on the initial teams, they are away from each other compared to what we've seen in the other maps. And I guess this will also start from Stadium, where in Onyx Olympus and Expand is, and there you have it. We might see another elimination between these two teams because it's not looking good for them.
First blood. Yeah, 3 points here while not allowing to get many points through this match. Maintain themselves within that top 12.
Yep.
Let's see how this is going to move for both before they.
And one thing is, for Onyx Olympus, it's just surprising as well that they only grab 3 points after 2 members for the day, compared to Expand and Y Sports, who grabbed 6 points overall. So let's see if this is a choice or like a decision for Onyx Olympus to grab a few more, trying to target Expand. But well, they can far back. They can prepare for how Onyx Olympus is setting this up. So let's see in how it turns up. I think from the rotation of Expand right now, they're preparing to pull away from early engagement and just find a final circle later on.
Yeah, I mean, they could, but they're already going to be found out by the binoculars coming in from Onyx. They could also be in agreement by both sides, but Onyx doesn't seem like they want to let this go. They're going to circle around the left side of this building, hopefully to find an angle onto Expand, who have decided to just hunker down. They don't control the POIs. They're just making their finals here.
Yeah, I mean, final stand, only 3 on this compound and 1 and or two rather, and two will be on the other side. So I don't think mid or Mikid has been spotted already. Here comes Kiba for the rush, double vector. Gary was able to take down Akop on the other side as well. So the blitz splits for both sides is working for Onyx Olympus. One elimination, even the rush by Mikid will not work. Luol in between them, and another takedown. Ketchik and DEIXA. One remains. Will this be it? Expand might be out.
Oh, and they find it nicely done. A wipe coming in from Onyx Olympus. And we got to see two of the buff weapons, the Akimbo Vectors and as well as the AUG. But here, come back to Torak's side. Early engagement against Hwa. Seems like they can't stay away from these early engages, especially when you're up here in Snowfall. Oh, he can't get through the gap. Hopefully he doesn't get punished, but the rest of Hwa Esports already a man down. It looks like they're going to back away from this fight, get caught.
I mean, Todak, there's a lot of hope for Todak at this point, especially how they're performing all day. Position-wise, like the presence that they have, 1-3 split with wings on high ground, getting all those information. This is just pushing Hwa Esports away. They don't want to give a chance for Todak to grab and farm all those points. Even the vehicles being used right now. Speaking of vehicles, vehicle of Falcons is on fire as Evo's being rushed right now on fire. No pun intended, is being lit up. But let's see if they can survive. Two teams going against each other. Team Falcons has not been so lucky in most of their engagement at this point, and going up with a double nade elimination by G'day.
Oh, that's so unlucky. And now the rest of the team is struggling to actually make it through this. One more, trying to keep the rest of Evos Divine at bay. He's going to leave. He doesn't want to be part of this, and hopefully with 51 HP left, one more shot should take him out if it's a headshot. Ah, G'day. He misses it. He's taking damage back, but it really doesn't matter. They want to eliminate the rest of Falcons here.
And Ray has been knocked down. It can be a distraction for Evo's Divine and Vehicles right now. I love how Evil's gameplay will it work against one more, knowing that the trick devil as he is, even with FGL trying to push out G'day, but Apex. And there's no elimination yet for Team Falcons, despite of all knockouts on their team.
Woof. All right. They hold on to their own. At the very least, Evo is still at full fighting strength at this point. Even using the binoculars to start scouting out the next positions that they have to rotate into. Now, let's look at God of Wolfen as well as RRQ, with the majority of the RRQ members already encapsulating the first conflict. Take them out real quick. AG, just behind God of Wolf, sees this. Now both have to keep coherency if they want to stand a chance. Abe does find Export. He went down last game because of him taking away their chances earlier, but let's see whether or not he actually finds the kill.
Abe right now pulled away from the chase against X-Bor, but as they stick together, X-Bor right now only a few HP, and finally being taken down. Trogon action from the hands of Abe, and Dutz will try to do the same, but that was a 1v2 that he sensed and needs to back away.
It's getting really tight here, getting closed on in straight away with the help of the blue walls. They find. Razor finds one into Allen. Combat, we see Allen get knocked down with Boots immediately after. Cyrus as well unable to hold up as Abe is trying to turn things around. Razor now, with the majority of the team on the inside of the compound, pushes 3 on the outside. Krillin didn't stand a chance.
No chance, and already RR2 showing up, despite of how they performed for the first match. It doesn't is that they had 6 on the placement point, but only 1 elimination, and they want to do more, especially after the booyah they have. And RRQ is just that team. Once they get the momentum, it slowly builds up beginning and then ends well towards the end. Indonesia is just a different kind on this tactic. And they're fine Thailand, which most of the time is the best teams in competition.
Yep. I mean, it's different because the ceiling is so high. That momentum can reach. Even some of the best teams can't deal with them once they have that momentum going behind them, right? And now we see Twisted Minds trying to find at least some success. The past 2 games have been relatively rough for them. Not their best performance thus far, but now they're going back to their same old ways, playing on the outside. Oh, we spot. Remember who just flew in? A second on the north flank into Garrison. They know, right?
Yeah, they know. They one must have spotted them because Diamond pull away and Wings right now a little bit too aggressive from almost outside 7, pulling up the trap, and Raja putting a little bit of support from above. Here comes Traps with the hunt and the twisted mind. What is happening? They're the ones running away.
Oh, Saming manages to get out just in time, doesn't get shot out of the air, but with superior positioning here, Todak are finding kills. They are eliminating Nameless straight away, a triple already achieved. Diamond still trying his best, does find a trade into Blue so far, gets the elimination straight away, but the Blue is already pushing them in closer towards Todak's side. Twisted have to work as a team. They find one, they trade 1 for 1, and even a low flank getting him and blocks him up with the blue wall, jumps over it, Traps, wins it out straight away. He's gonna heal back up and get the revive. Good for Todak. I mean, the only one left here. Raja looking for the opportunity, takes him out with ease. Even the Riptide rhythm ain't gonna be enough. Doesn't need the cover, just needs to land the shots.
Not quite sure what's happening with Todak. Probably it's because I am in Malaysia right now and they're getting the energy from me. But this is something else. They want to show more and they are showing it. 10 elimination. 2 phases is different tactics. That is a different aggression from this team, but hopefully they can carry it over and like they can run the marathon. And this is not just hopefully that's not just a sprint for Todak.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm worried about as well, right? Are they going to gas out towards the latter half of the day? Because so far they're doing very, very well. Again, it feels like they have like a newfound comp fights individually as well, making sure that they maintain cohesion at the same time, double peaking angles in the middle of that team fight. Really good stuff. Now we look back at Hua, right? Walking in from the eastern side of the map of their own with plenty of POIs to actually play around. Let's quickly cut on over to RRQ and as well as Onyx looming around each other.
RQ taking bridge, and they have spotted Onyx Olympus. 1 takedown against Kiba, and Miles still putting a lot of pressure, so make that Gary. And no, it's just a firing squad for RRQ. Nothing that can be done by Onyx can save them at Monster Trap. They can go for the chase.
Yep, and they can get back in, eventually get back into the blue with no issues. 8 eliminations in total for RRQ. It looks like they're KDA farming, right, to make up some of the lost points that they had in the previous maps.
I mean, at this point for RRQ, I want to sing the wheels to the truck goes round, because they have 8 eliminations already, and they're not turning around.
They're going to be making it into the blue with no issues whatsoever. Doesn't seem to be any resistance walking in. It's going to be a free rotate. And it looks like they want to end up on the north side of the current ring. We do see, a good time to actually watch this fight. Falcons taking a full engagement against Evos, who are just maintaining their battle lines. Come to us, hide behind this weak piece of...
Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty much similar on the position for Evo's Divine and Team Falcons. It's just this element of surprise has been brought in by Evo's Divine. There goes Riptide Rhythm to break down all those glue walls out the grenade launcher. And there goes A-Box on the ground, and they will be the next target. AimGod will be chased by Peter in 1v2, and 2 down already for Evo's Divine, but there is Heavy, who's trying to contest this engagement, probably to feed off on those who's just recovering. But Team Falcon says, no, you can't do this to us. We are going to start healing up before engagement.
Yeah, but now we've come back over to RRQ versus Todak right now. RRQ fighting them within the blue as well. It's costing them a lot of resources as they're forcing Todak to actually cover in. BTR now getting involved as a third party comes forward. RQ, they don't want any part of this. They want to walk out of there as BTR has covered all the angles. They get on top of the roof. They are looking towards Todak's side. Do they notice that the RQ members have walked out? And Aikal turning the corner to check the outside of the compound and calling the rest follow along with him.
At this point, I think RRQ is the one spotted by BTR, and they will be the target. This is similar to the scenario that we had earlier. 2 teams. It's not looking well for BTR. Koja with that grenade launcher. We're looking for a new, or I would say, a repeat of the meta of the grenade launcher from like 2 years back. That is when the grenade launcher has been thriving, and all these players is bringing it back.
Yep, and it's not over for Beast yet. Another team has decided to get into the engagement, and it's Wa Esports, and he turned around. Dix, whoa, doing some significant damage, finds one in Shin. Traps is the next to fall as Wa is looking for 3 kills and eliminate Kodak in the process, allowing BTR to actually even up the score. It's 3-3 so far. We'll see his next EVOS Divine, the next to fall. RRQ shutting them down, but still, what an engagement here as Wa maintaining all at full fighting strength as well, forcing BTR back into the blue. With each passing moment, it's getting worse and worse as Delta unable to find a kill of their own. They take down Shin, but if they can get Yanbin, now they have an opportunity. Aikal has done so much already, and BTR still alive, stopping the revive. Dix finds one, and they eliminate them entirely. Oh, wow. They pull through, and even so, with one member still alive, and they don't see where Abe is, he has been putting so many holes through so many skulls.
Speaking of holes, there's a huge hole in the plan of Wa Esports right now, trying to backtake, but it doesn't work. Brought them to another standoff on a 1v1, bound to happen between Abe and Death, but on the middle, we have Heavy, who's just been waiting in there for the gunshot to die down before they take a peek, and hopefully they can put in more points to their side, but Death risking the damage of the blue just to get a few more resources. 7 medkits. Will this work compared to what we've seen in day number 1 for the week for that clutch gameplay? We'll have to see later, because the 1v1 will be gunned down, and Death will have a good chance to step into the blue.
Time! Riptide Rhythm comes out. Abe wins that out of clutch Riptide Rhythm to get one more shot in. The difference maker. It outplays it, wins the 1v1, as we do see Falcons taking heavy damage from Heavy themselves, pushing them out of their natural cover in that rock. They have some blue melters. That's going to open up so many more options for them as Abe. No, he's got his sights set on Falcons, ruining their backline position. Peter forced backwards. Abe goes down as Heroro turns, and now Heavy's Kabi on the run, with the rest of the members just taking down at least one person from Falcons who has disrupted their backlines. Peter Heroro and one more now control the right flank entirely. With Kabi down, it's going to be behind this shack.
It's a little questionable move for Heavy right now to back out of that engagement and head to circle, wasting a lot of resources. Thus, Team Falcons take advantage of this. It is a 1v3 situation, and there you have it. Potential for Team Falcons. But no, Keroro will be taken down, but one more makes a hit in between, does walls, and Team Falcons, Booyah, breaking the streak of Indonesia.
And now they're all warmed up. They're all warmed up this time. Getting the Booyah confidently as well, taking very aggressive fights, even though it's going to be an uphill battle, winning the war of an end there. Falcons really pulling through this time on Alpine.
Now let's see how will they be pulled up, being 9th of the day, or 9th place of the day. But again, Team Falcons, it's not just the swap of the players, but even before that swap, and they have been struggling to put so much of points, but I guess that can't be helped. All eyes are on them, especially with all the championship on every tournament that they've got, and they don't want to spill any at this stage of the competition.
I think they're playing a lot better as well, right? Even in most scenarios, we're expecting Falcons not only looking for these all-in, away some of their players away to get the full revive afterwards. And this time, they've been pulling it off a lot more successfully compared to the past 2 maps. But I have to admit, a lot of teams like Qua, Heavy, I would even say WAG to a certain degree, coming in from some very big thirds.
Yeah, I mean, let's see on how well will that help them in terms of the numbers. But this is Abe and Death, the 1v1 final circle, where Abe was forced to use that monster truck, but in the wrong direction in a 3v3. I mean, Heavy had to back away. They could have a flank or straight head to the top, the higher ground, and probably spot Team Falcon as they head into the next phase. But it is what it is. Team Falcons grab that Booyah. They will be pushed up a little bit into based on that performance. Hopefully it continues for the team, because they're part of our prediction.
Yes, yes. I'm hoping that my prediction this time is not going to curse these teams. You know, I thought maybe at the beginning of the day I might have made a bit significant. I think it's going to be fine now.
We'll see. We'll see. It's up to the team right now. We couldn't dictate what will be happening, especially with how it is going to change. But this is what we get into the dictate. We're going to go in for the interview and hear what they have to say.
Hi, Falcon, and this is Pela from Falcon. Yay! How is going for you guys? Because I knew that it's been a tough day for Falcons after the second has opened. It feels like you didn't give us 100% that you can.
เป็นยังไงบ้างคะทีมฟาลคอนรู้สึกว่าค่อนข้างแบบว่าตะกุกตะกักในการเล่นหลังจากที่เป็นครึ่งหลังเหมือนกับว่ายังไม่ได้แบบใส่เต็ม100%หรือเปล่า
ก็ผมก็รู้สึกว่าดันในตัวเองก็เล่นแบบยังไม่ค่อยเข้าใจเกมเท่าไหร่ครับ
I feel a bit pressure. It seems like that our team need to strategy, to play well together.
What is the biggest challenge of you to attend into the champion World Cup in the world team?
ดันไหมที่แบบว่าอยู่ๆเราก็ได้เข้าอยู่ในทีมแชมป์ที่ได้จากทั้งแชมปิงแล้วก็แชมป์โลกจาก World Cup
ก็ตอนแรกๆก็กดดันครับแต่ตอนนี้ไม่กดดันแล้วครับ
I feel a bit pressure at the beginning, but now like no pressure and after joining the team anymore.
Is it because of you have someone to encourage you nearby here?
เกี่ยวไหมที่แบบว่ามีใครบางคนแบบว่าให้กำลังใจใกล้ๆอยู่แถวๆเนี้ย
ใช่เลยไม่ค่อยกดดันเท่าไหร่
เกี่ยวครับ
It's quite related. Yes.
Anything you want to say to her?
มีอะไรอยากฝากถึงคนนั้นไหมคะ
ก็รักนะครับ
Okay.
Love you. Love you.
Oh, and this is Keller from Team Falcon. Let's see what will Falcon bring to us next. But now, are you ready to get back to the shoutcaster? Ready? So, get back to the shoutcaster. Bye.
When I heard that, I was about to turn off my PC.
Oh, ew, gross. How
We're
supporting
here
on
for
the
Free
side.
Fire. We're here for Free Fire. Like, I know everyone loved the game, but yeah. Anyways, I mean, it's a good thing that we're seeing a lot of hope for Corral as well, especially with the swap that they have with Cougar. And I guess that explains it. It's getting close to someone's spot just to perform as a team.
Especially we got that extra support, right? Especially, I think so far it's so good, right? We are seeing that Falcons are warming up overall to what the lobby is bringing to the table. We are seeing very well from the lower half of the bracket to try and maintain their spot as well at the same time. So we are seeing that teams are deploying some emergency tactics just to try and make it into that top 12 so far. And Falcons, they're not worried about it because they're performing well and generally are winning a majority of their gunfights. But at the same time, you would imagine that, you know, Falcons are going to take a step back, right? Really slow down overall on this map.
And speaking of step back, we've seen earlier that they have potential to go for the engagement away because they're slowly identifying who the opponents are and choosing all those battles so that they can end up in the final circle. But our MVP will be one more with that Skylar as well as that AWM. And as you know it, with this guy on the snipes, always having that Arvin for the scan, triple Arvin plus a Beastin, and as well as a triple Tatsuya with the Skylar. Not so much has changed, just the double Thiva. Go for the easy pick up just in case they will be taken down.
They're just saving money, man. They don't have to buy active skill cards no more. They're just like, it's fine. It's all good, dude. I got a renewable source of dust to dash around. Don't worry about me. We ain't wasting our currency on that. But let's look at the elimination leaders, right? Because this is where it gets interesting. Abe, of course, going to be sitting on top at 8. But even Trap's finding 6 of his own. Keroro finding 5. One more finding 4. And Death finding 4 his position. If they won out a majority of their fights, they would be sitting where Falcons are right now.
Yeah, speaking of that, The sitting arrangement of Todak is really primed to get all this information from the coach. And I guess every instance that they will have that break to have their coach teach them or probably guide them as to what they can do, can maintain or keep them maintaining that number one spot. Close to them is RRQ, and despite of the lack of performance for that map number 1, they are already catching low Todak for the day. So that's 52 and 50 respectively for Todak and RRQ.
But that's the thing, right? They're technically playing catch up. If you're trying to always your 150 point quota by the end of the week, having those two bad maps really sets you back quite far. There's still 3 more maps. We're already at the halfway point. 3 more maps to conclude today. So it's going to be really important for them to find some really high elimination lobbies to start farming those points if they don't get the placement.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at the points for placement and elimination. Is Team Falcons balanced in both with 24 in total. RRQ with 22. That is coming from elimination. The same goes for Todak. Only 3 in the placement. And if that is not the case, if they found the final circle or probably close, they might have beaten a few more from the top 3. But Todak, again, I can't let it go. Todak is just showing.
Yeah, they really are, and that's going to help push them up, right? If we're looking closer towards where Onyx is, who was the first team on in an early engagement, they're not too far away. They're about like 50 to 48-ish points. And honestly, each one of these teams could easily overtake the other.
Yeah, I mean, to be like looking at Todak and Star will now be playing right now. They are 52 points away for the top 12, and even BTR is 2 points, but Onyx is just pulling away slowly and surely, especially for Bigatron and Delta, so they need to fix that if they want to step into the top 12 by the end of the day.
I think we need to pay close attention to both BTR and as well as we need to see how Todak is finding so many of these eliminations despite not getting high overall points.
Yeah, let's see on how that would change. And this is the game schedule right now. So far, the first 2 maps has been taken by Indonesia, but Thailand, especially the team of Team Falcons, after that Booyah. But Kalahari will change everything into that perspective. The elevation, the harsh weather of this map, but they will have I would say a Spider-Man feel with that hook gun to get into engagement. So let's see how can they pull this off. RRQ most of the time in the refinery. Who will target them in that area? That's a question for me.
Early engagements are going to start playing through, right? Let's look at the top 3 teams on this map so far, and it's Buriram United, Twisted Minds, and as well as All Gamers Global, AG Global, right? Minds are the only team that's going to be playing here today, so they technically would have the highest probability of actually getting the Booyah this time round. It suits their play style. They take their time with a lot of their decisions when it comes down to getting into the ring, but once they are activated and ready to fight, especially if it's clearing their backs, they get hyper.
Apart from Twisted Mind, we have great potential to grab a Booyah in this map. We also are looking at GOW with no Booyahs just yet, but they are second place between Group B and C when it comes to Kalahari, averaging to the points or placement points of 6.5 and elimination of 6.1. Let's see if God of Wolf will be able to howl their way to that number 1 spot as the harsh weather of Kalahari is up in play.
The harshest weather and the harshest environment brings up the best in teams. Only hard men come from the hardest of places. Let's see how these warriors are going to battle it out here in Kalahari, as we do see the flight path, and hopefully it's going to be a good one here. These early engagements is going to be very important because yes, there is extra verticality, but also after the previous map with some teams actually prioritizing some of the buffed weapons in the early game could change around the priorities of most optimal weapons at what stage of the game.
As we can see, the flight path, it's quite skewed to the south, but it doesn't hamper the teams to get to where they want. And even Hawaii Sports managed to get away from Team Falcons, but Onyx Olympus right now to engage with some players of GOW as well as RRQ, as Dutz will be stuck in there, who will try to challenge everyone on his way.
Interesting. They're dropping 2 by 2, right? Only Onyx is going to be the full... No, sorry. I take that back. God of Wolf actually eliminating members of RRQ relatively quick, starting off with first blood. almost straight away. And it looks like even Onyx had a substitution. They're bringing on Gardu this time. They start getting deeper into this conflict.
I mean, Onyx Olympus needs to get away and to maintain their spot on that leaderboard. But Onyx Olympus Jack still trying to find where God of Wolf. Yes, they missed that opportunity as God of Wolf has already run away. As Isa is the one is getting position and getting information from this engagement. Gunshot after gunshot, but not so much of elimination, not so much of damage being thrown in. Gary is just scouting the area. On the kill feed, we've seen a few of elimination as well.
So far, Onyx stuck in the biggest compound in the area, while GOW has a little bit of a spread. Two holding the second floor, the second biggest building that they have in their vicinity. While the others are just watching the flank, making sure that if anybody comes through that western side, they will have to take some form of damage. Now we do see that Onyx taking the initiative here. Oh, finding eliminations of their own. To conclude this one as we see, Expand getting eliminated straight. Oh, what the conflict was.
Expand being eliminated once again a little bit too early. So, an island as well as Bermuda, that has been the story even in Kalahari. The story continues. But GLW is pulling up a different page in the chapter of their Free Fire run against Onyx Olympus. Is they're winning a few of those battles. Unfortunately for Tondo, it will with that XM8 trying to shut down anyone he sees, but still maintain his position on that second floor.
Yep, he's just holding himself off. And GOW, they're just waiting for Gary to start moving out. It actually begins. They've already gotten their team back to fighting strength, and Gary can get on out of there. He can thanking his lucky stars. But even the revives are acting, of GOW are acting as scouts. Onyx get eliminated at 11th place. Not a very good day for them. A triple achieved by Dion.
Yeah, Dion really denying Onyx Olympus for that revive. Let's see if Todak will be denied of their best. Raja has been taken down by X4, and a shot from Wings might even the playing field, but no, Seven and Traps as well as Raja will be knocked down. Let's have a little bit of insurance for Todak right now to put in a few more points, and Allen will be taken down by Wings from afar. Wings will be returned. A few shots from X4, still the monster for the team.
Great shot from X4, 101 meters away, nails him right in the dome. Allen gets a free pickup thanks to X4's accurate shot here. Mammoth now in full control of WAG, and they're right at the back of the southwestern side. Oh, their backs are clear. They're just waiting for the blue to close in to confirm.
Let's see if they can confirm, similar to what we're seeing from one more of Team Falcons. I guess that Booyah is becoming a motivation for them and might be challenging Bigatron Delta at this point after that 1v4 engagement against Hands of Heavy. No distraction being brought in by Falcons. They are just in clear view, getting the best timing to go in for that chase. But speaking of chase, Heavy still being chased. Hans managed to pull away. Riptide Rhythm breaks out the defense. 1v4, and it will be the end of Hans. Will this be the end of Heavy as well? Not quite yet, as Get Nice goes back for the revive.
Now we see RQ versus Twisted Minds. Mal ends up going down. Diamond winning out his own, but Tommy as well as Nameless have taken damage for their own. Razor and Abe trying to make the big goes down. This could be an opening. Instantly, we see him fall. Xboxy as well as Diamond doing some really good work with their 2v2s. A quadra kill for Xboxy, as now he's going to eliminate the rest of the members of RQ who are still on top. Nameless still needs to revive, but Twisted Minds easily taking them out. Falcons, this entire time, has been trying to catch up to BTR. After BTR took out that last remaining member, the last remaining member in their back lines, now having to take a full frontal assault. Ooh, wait, on fire, already down, forcing the rest of the members of Falcon to actually back up to their anchor one more.
They are only a few seconds away from being taken, but next phase managed to take out Peter in this battle. That land squad will be what Team Falcons will be using. Survive a little further, but for BDR 7 elimination, they will be the leader at this point in time, but it might hurt in a bit, but not this time with only the first phase.
He's going to be launching himself. Heading towards the northern side. Clear. Falcons with one more and on fire. Come back to full fighting strength. They're going to need to find some loot for their other two members before they're back to maximum capacity. Even binoculars being deployed just to make sure that they can find an area for their freshly baked boys to re-equip themselves.
And Council Hall, a little bit, we have exit strategy with those zip lines. Now, onto the other side. Evo's Divine spread out 1-1. Hunting down or probably spotting GO7 from Todak alone and unwanted. No one can really bring in a lot of pressure other than what he's feeling right now. But GOW pulls away, gets into the hands, into the face of Evo's. Here comes a shot from Dion. Aimgad receiving that.
Yep, taking the shot straight to his chest. He's gonna have to pull back here. Interesting tactic deployed by GOW, right? They're Divine. They don't want to give them any opportunities to retreat back into the blue, but at the same time, they're making sure that their left flanks are exposed for every rotation that they make. They're forced to use a medkit if they get blasted by GOW. They need to find the weak link, and I think they found it on that northern side. Even Ton has to force the reposition.
Reposition is what he needs right now, especially being alone on that side. And Eva's Divine just opened up a way for them on the Stone Ridge circle, and then they will be given a hint if they're ready, if it is clear for them to move out from GOW. ABAX, Evo's Divine are doing so well in this gunfight. So far, they might be able to grab another of that booyah.
Yep, Evo's Divine trying to maintain here, but Demon going to be way up front to try and search for Ray here. He's going to get encapsulated, and he loses that 1v1 almost straight away. Good comms by the rest of the members of Evos to alert Ray to the current position. And now they take care of the building, and they're out of there, right? Get their own revives out of the way, but all this gatekeeping is costing them a lot of resources.
A lot of resources will be wasted, definitely. Ian is trying to hide out. Here comes Aimgad, and there goes elimination, not giving them a chance to loot those free fire coins as well as to revive their teammates. Evo's Divine, 4 eliminations already. OW as we head over to Twisted Mind and Heavy, and Nameless and Expo C running as one from Heavy will be left behind. I'm not sure if that is wise of a choice for them, but Expo C says it's easy for us with grenade launcher to eliminate or knock.
Yep, they've crushed the members of Heavy, and now we see Saming. He actually saw the revive actually progress, right? He saw him flying away and quickly took the launch pad to start chasing him. The rest of the squad, but Hans hiding within this tent, gets spotted out straight away. Saming does not waste any time. He's spamming through these walls, hopefully to him through. This is his next shot. He just needs one good shot, and it's over for Heavy.
Yeah, Hans will be a handful as he will receive a few damage. The shot will be made through the cactus, and Heavy eliminated in 9, and Twisted Mind with 10 elimination. This is what we are looking for. Elimination leader, Twistedness. Let's see if they can add Booyah to that list.
Yeah, they're having plenty of eliminations just between Xboxian as well as Diamond. 7 total with 3 distributor members. Most teams, most players actually, not breaking the 3 elimination mark so far, but with a really good position coming in from the command post, not to mention that they have the urban area around it, right? Playing around these containers inside of this base. It's really going to be a tough position to flush them out of, with lots of places for them to fall back to. If not, look to re-engage on the flanks.
On the other side of the map, we are looking at WAG. Good potential to take down the remaining player of Todak. And I'm not quite sure what the plan is, because they haven't received or revived of the players from Team Todak. But RRQ receiving a few damage. 0 elimination for RRQ. Playing it silent and deadly. And Twisted Mind goes in. There goes Rebel Rush. And Abay will miss those shots.
Not looking good so far. Wow, already coming headshot of his own. And even while this is going on BTR and as well as WA, but RQ need to clean this up quick against Twisted Minds before this blue ends up taking too much of their life. running towards the zone, and Diamond as well. But this is looking so much worse for Twisted Minds. A lot of the straggling members bleeding out. Great comms from RRQ, attacking him even from outside of the compound, and Diamond with just a sliver of health left, waiting for this glue wall melter to do its work. Oh, even blocking off the way behind them. Looks like the rest of the members of Twisted Minds made it into the ring early, and now are reapplying pressure to RRQ.
RRQ will be in the mid players, but no, Abeng just taking advantage of those who's just coming back from the revive before going down. That's right now with shot and sound finishing him off, and Twisted Mind eliminated on 7th place. RRQ on his 6th elimination, and they started that engagement with nothing.
Dang, Abe was just at the right place at the right time, right? Especially after you launch, you land on the round. There is a little bit of a lockout time before you whip out your gun and start doing actions. Got punished. 2 people getting punished at that close range. Really, really sad to see. But hey, in the middle of this poking war between Falcons as well as Ffws Divine, we see WAG actually going up to the hill to try and see Ffws Divine for the high ground, knowing that they eventually have to push into the ring.
They are pushing slowly into the ring. Name God. Oh, he hit a lot of damage. He's one to be hit by X4. And let's see on what rotation will avoid WAG's open shots. And Ray managed to pull away with one more. Received a few more, managed to use that inhaler to heal up. Prize, Ray will be going down. 2 snipers on him, Allen and X4 for the damage.
Oh, no clutch for you this time. Which is really, really unfortunate because we're getting to the final few circles at this point with 2 major compounds to play around and the natural cover coming in from RRQ. It's not a great position to be in. If Ffws gets involved, RRQ should get eliminated pretty fast, and Yam doesn't want to become collateral damage. He's just waiting it out.
Well, let's see if they can wait out for a little bit longer. 14 seconds before the blue will be in. WAG and Ffws Divine going in. A battle of the tents. We've seen this before. Not a lot of teams survive this, especially when the rest of the squad will be rushing in, pushed by the blue. But we go pushing in against Ffws Divine. No hesitation overall. They want to take them out, and Ffws Divine eliminated, leaving WAG with 9 on the points.
I'm surprised they weren't taken advantage of, but it looks like RRQ just playing for a better position rather than letting this conflict go through. They don't time, especially for Yanbin, who's been slowly creeping up. RRQ now take the full engagement against WAG with glue wall, so they're not even taking into account for RRQ. They're looking at their backs as the nades explode. Now they're forced to look forward, but they also reveal the position of
Falcons has showed up in RRQ's Raider, and X4 going down, split blitz, finish them off. And let's see if anyone else can fight back against RRQ, who's being so position-wise as well as aggression. But Yanbin trying to survive, being hit by the split blitz, and here comes the rush. Wow, Esports will be eliminated, then Force only 3 remains in the battlefield.
It's 3 points for RRQ, right? They're finding all of the stragglers so far. Falcons continue to just hold their position, waiting for the full engagement of RRQ, are just holding high and low. It's really difficult for Falcons to get back in, but luckily their presence has been hidden this entire time.
And they're not spotted, but there goes a little bit of grenade action from RRQ, and that might be it for Team Falcons, because they couldn't target themselves from the rooftop and that compound, and all eyes are on Falcons right now. Very difficult position to survive, but now still managed to go in for that elimination. But now we're in a 2v3, and WAG has a greater chance of winning this.
Oh yeah, WAG took advantage of it, right? If you're going to be shooting at Falcon, we're going to shoot at you. Quickly going for a wide swing and taking the high ground as well. RRQ in a precarious position, a man down as WAG looking to muscle their way through, finds Abe straight away. Razor in a force to try and 1v3 clutch this, already surrounded. Doesn't have any way to really fall back to. The Trogons upon Trogons upon Trogons for WAG. He's got smooth moves, but he's out of cooldowns. Razor finally out of it, and that is going to be a booyah by WAG.
WAG grabbing their second booyah for Kalahari all throughout the knockout stage, and let's see on how much more they can put up in the field. Map-specific Booyah, or probably they really has unidentified what needs to be changed for them to survive that final circle. The 1v4 is something that RRQ will not be surviving overall, but in terms of performance, they are still showing up.
Yep, they're still in it to win it every once in a while. Once they have if they're at full fighting force, that's when they're the scariest, right? You can't just depend on Export to do a majority of the work. Yes, he has been finding some great snipes, but if the rest of the team doesn't buck up to support him or being presented to them, then it becomes way difficult, way harder to actually play this game.
Yeah, and let's see on the highlights right now. W managed to take out first eliminated team Onyx Olympus, whereas Heavy all has met their demise. And so the same goes for RRQ. Like from this engagement, RRQ felt a lot of damage, but they managed to pull away. But they need a hard reset before they jump in onto that final match.
They do need a bit of a hard reset. Honestly, I thought Twisted Minds were in a really good position. They have momentum behind them, but RRQ, they're just moving even faster, right? A lot more cohesive with the way that they actually fight, and more importantly, just timing, right? Just raw timing sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, definitely timing is the moment that you will be walking towards the next phase or the middle of the final circle, as well as together with the blue, that you will not be wasting or giving that opportunity to less. There you have it. The match is over in Kalahari. I'm pretty sure a lot of teams is thanking everyone, thanking the Free Fire gods that is over and we can head into a different map, because you did talk about this. We did mention this, that Kalahari is less like a map for these pro players.
I mean, that's a soft way of putting it. It's dog water map's terrible. I hate you can hit this map, and I share the same sentiment with our professional players. Kalahari is just no fun. But it's up to you. It's up to you how you look at it. With that being said, let's go straight into the interview winners of this match.
Hi everyone, it's your MC Yunsu today, and welcome to our interview after the match. Blue AG, Explorer, can you say hello to the audience please? Xin chào Explorer, thì lời đầu tiên bạn có thể gửi lời chào đến các bạn khán giả trước được không ạ?
Hello mọi người ạ.
Hello everyone. WAG is still very legit to keep up with the record. Whenever they have a fight, they will always get a booyah. So let's moving on to our first questions. So being the top team of Vietnam, how's your feeling right now? Thì tất cả mọi người ơi, WAG vẫn đang là một đội tuyển rất là uy tín ở trong việc giữ cái kỷ lục là ngày nào có chúng tôi thi đấu là có booyah. Vậy thì X Boy, đến với câu hỏi đầu tiên, bạn cảm thấy như thế nào khi mà đội tuyển của mình đang được đánh giá là mạnh nhất Việt Nam ạ?
Dạ, em thấy là khá vui khi mà được đánh giá là đội tuyển mạnh nhất Việt Nam, mà chắc em không dám nhận em là đội tuyển mạnh nhất ạ.
He felt really happy when he heard everyone saying that WAG is the best of Vietnam, but still very humble. He is not considered himself, and also his team is the best of Vietnam. And the second question is, I feel really the situation that himself solo 3 members of Evos. How did you do that by yourself? It's really amazing, a sniper of the team. Thì mình thấy là ở trong có một cái trận đấu mà một mình Xbox đã chinh chiến với 3 đồng đội đến từ đội tuyển đối thủ, thì không biết là làm sao mà Xbox có thể gọi là một mình bản thân của mình chiến đấu với 3 người đấy, trong khi bản thân của nghĩa của đội à?
Do hơn ạ.
Do hơn. Làm sao mà do hơn được?
Em không biết nữa, chắc là do hơn thôi chứ em không biết.
Honest that he said it's just a fluke. A really lucky situation that he can approach, and that's how he handled 3 members from EVOS all by himself. It's really strange, right? So it's really good that we have a booyah here. Words you want to send to the viewers, but also to WAG fans. Thì cuối cùng là Yusu sẽ được chúc mừng Expo cũng như WAG. Các bạn đã rất xuất sắc và đã được booyah, và cũng gọi là mang một chút cái bầu không khí nó được vỡ đi khi mà có những cái tình huống nó khá là căng thẳng cho các đội tuyển Việt Nam. Vậy thì Expo có lời nào muốn gửi đến các bạn khán giả đang theo dõi cũng như là cả fan club của WAG không ạ?
Em cảm ơn mọi người đã ủng hộ team bọn em ạ. Em hứa Mục tiêu của team bọn em là vào chung kết là sẽ top.
Tức là top 3. Vậy là top 3 là mình vào được chung kết luôn đúng không?
Không, top 3 của chung kết chứ.
Top 3 của chung kết luôn, top 1 luôn.
Khó.
Khó. Thank you so much for following and always cheers for us. We will promise you guys that and achieve that third place in the final. I also asked him why not the first place, why not the championship? He said, it's kind of hard for us, but I believe that they can do it. Cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều vì đã theo dõi phần phỏng vấn của mình về WAG Expo. Yusu xin chúc tất cả các bạn sẽ lấy được booyah nhiều hơn ở trong các trận đấu sau nhé. Cố gắng dựa lửa nha mọi người. Thank you so much for watching our interview. Now, let's head back to the caster and see you guys in the next match.
The man is too humble. He's to an exam, says, I didn't study at all and got straight A's afterwards. He's not saying he's the better player. He's just saying that Evos conveniently fell into his crosshair.
But a fluke. But overall, he had an 89,000 fluke of damage. 95 elimination all throughout the knockouts. Just a fluke, as he say. Let's head over to the MVP. It's not X4 though, it's Glirin, and I love seeing this guy back in compared to the others. But in terms of support and assist, he is really thriving, and this time he's the one grabbing more elimination and also a lot of headshots. But in terms of the damage though, it's quite low, so I guess the other teams just like, so it's teamwork overall.
Yep. WAG, if we're talking about individual fraggers, you got to give it to X-Boy. But when you're talking about playing as a team, that's when you expect to see that WAG likes to press their opponents with all four of their members on a singular angle to make sure that engagements end quick.
Yeah, I mean, engagement. But speaking of quickness, there's not so much of quickness in terms of their character build. We're seeing only one Tatsuya and one Cassie. Even K has jumped into the mix. This is the second time that I've seen K into composition. The Master of All really becomes an increase on that EP. But Iris, well, with the wall brawl, I think there's a lot of changes being done by teams, especially with their understanding of how to utilize the patch as well as how to counter all the buffs that has been done.
Yeah, I like it a lot, right? Because now if you don't have active, you can still buy the cards that actually, subsidize that. You can still cover just as much distance as your actual Tatsuya player. The best part of it is that with the extra EP that he actually has, even if his first fragger rusher goes down, he can actually follow up, and even V1 situations being able to take multiple layers of fire because of his added bonus.
Yeah, the added bonus really will help. More 5 elimination. Well, I guess it beats Glirin in terms of elimination. Twisted Mind Diamond, 33-19 on the damage. Managed to survive a few of those engagements, the chase, but some unfortunate for them didn't put up so much. But as we look into the game standing for that match, game number 14 elimination, giving them a total of 26 points, followed by RRQ with only 19 points, and VTR that they keep chasing each other within this day is now still chasing them on that and third, and Twisted Mind left behind. The same with Team Falcons. Not quite sure what's happening with his top 2 teams, top dogs, because Twisted Mind, Team Falcons, let's include Brim United. Those are the ones usually on the number 1 spot.
Yeah, I think there has been a bit of a priority shift in terms of what we focused on. I think a lot of teams now are looking to actually start farming the KD because they're realizing that a lot of these teams are being hyper aggressive and looking to intercept them in the middle of their rotation. So it's better to actually hold out just a little bit longer than they usually do and spot them out ahead of time to then take the full front to front.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it overall as well, and Bigetron Delta has crossed over to the top 12, well, to be specific, 11th place. So that really pays up with all those engagement, with all those challenges that they won in this battle, leaving Onyx Olympus behind. And I want to see more of Bigetron Delta, because so far, previously, they're just managing on taking down Team Falcons, Twisted Mind, even RRQ, but they're not putting so much in terms of placement and bringing themselves higher on the leaderboard. But this is their chance now. A few more in addition to the one booyah that they have for the knockout stage. But we're already done with matches. And with that said, we're going to go for a quick break. When we return, will be the remaining match in Xterra and a random map. So, see you in a bit.
I'm like circle. When I'm hanging with my friends, I can circle it. I can find anything if I circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it. Can you circle it? Cause I can circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it.
Limit has been healing up a little bit too early. And no! Denied! Limit! Lord Nabuya! Game number 1.
ผมบอกเลยลั่นแน่แหละ
Will be surviving that, and there you go. 1v4. Only 2 boards. Vietnam grabs that booyah.
อ่า
Circle it. Circle, you let me circle it. I can find anything if I circle it. Let me circle it, I'm like circle. When I'm hanging with my friends, I can circle it. I can find anything if I circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it. Can you circle it? Cause I can circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it.
Limit has been healing up a little bit too early. And no! Denied! Limit! Lord Nabuya! Game number 1.
ผมบอกเลยลั่นอ่ะลั่นกว่านี้ผมลั่นแน่แหละ
Will be surviving that, and there you go. 1v4. Only 2 remain. PE Sports. Vietnam grabs that booyah.
Tính kiếm được nhiều điểm nhất rồi.
2 rounds on a sliver of health, barely surviving. It might end up being Ffws MK.
ไม่ต้องกังวลครับที่พวกผมเล่นแบบนี้ก็มันเล่นยากด้วยครับแล้วมันเป็นแพทใหม่ด้วยแล้ววัน
Now Circle, Caramel's still surviving. He must have run out of health kits. I think that's gonna be it for Caramel. Oh my God, Caramel!
ก็ฝากเชียร์ทีม AG ด้วยครับพวกเราในรายการนี้ครับ
Circle it. Circle, you let me circle it. I can find my circle it. Let me circle it, I'm like circle. When I'm hanging with my friends, I can circle it. I can find anything if I circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it. Can you circle it? Cause I can circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it.
Free Fire World Series continues here today on the 11th day here in Southeast Asia. My name is Getting Q. This is going to be Nep today for the last 2 maps of Nextera and one final RNG map. We don't know where it's going to be until we get there. Good luck to all of our players. But so far, a lot of teams who are in, past the 12th spot looking to catch up really, really quick, and other teams deploying strategies to play around, just getting as many eliminations so they specifically BTR from cutting them off a rotation.
Yeah, well, BTR has already moved up to the 11th place, and yeah, definitely as you stop BTR, because they have been a threat to a lot of teams, and we're not just talking about like the teams who are on this middle of the pack. We are talking about those who championship have taken the top spot overall and just beating them down, eliminating them over on this day. But as we look into the day 11, Q is now on number 1 with 69 on the points with a Booyah. WAG will follow them. Todak has been left with no, but still, they are in a good spot. The only thing that brought them down there is the 3 placement point and 0 elimination match that they had in Kalahari.
Yep, they did not have a good time in Kalahari, and I can understand it's a hate it map for a reason. But now that we're moving on to Nextera, we're hoping that some of these teams, especially for Falcons, to start stepping it up even more, right? They have the highest chance of out on this map itself. Have they dealt with BTR specifically, and even RRQ has been a pain in their side?
Yeah, I mean, RRQ is following Twisted Mind after Team Falcons and the best team out of Group B and C for Nextera. And I am seeing Cosq back in the mix. Substitution has been, that's what Team Falcons needed, because it's not showing, despite of the Booyah that they grab on Alpine, it's not showing that they can get so much in terms of points. They'll go their goal of pulling away in the middle of the pack by the end of the day.
Honestly, I don't know who's going to be at the very end here. It feels like every team has a really, really good chance overall. We haven't seen teams like hard dominate lobbies in quite a while in these past 11 days, right? We haven't seen that level of dominance like we saw the year before or even the year before that. And I think that all the teams are catching up pretty quickly to the top 0.1% of play.
Yeah, I mean, catch up that's is everyone's trying to hustle. Though, despite of having 2 more weeks after this for the knockout stage, they really need to put in a lot of investment on the points, especially with what has been done. RQ, imagine the 92-point lead that they have against AG Global, and it's still increasing because AG will not be playing today, and they have 2 more. RRQ have 2 more maps to increase that catch up with BRU. They are 9 points shy from getting that number 1 spot, and RRQ will be very happy if they place themselves there.
I would imagine that like 120 points would be like a comfortable buffer. It would that AG would have to have a really hot day to overcome. But let's look at the player head to head, because right now we got to talk about WAG's Xbor and as well as the Twisted Minds. Again, I have to admit that Xbor has been like the premium sniper after his 1v3. Like it's no surprise why WAG is paying top dollar for this man.
Yeah, I mean, Xbor is becoming a star of this game, of this team, but we'll have to see more for AG, because currently on the 7th place, there's still a huge chance, because the gap between, or rather, the gap between Twisted Mind, Attack All Around, and WAG is very close, but for WAG's sake, the ones below them is Hua Esports, who is 74 points below that team. So they might be comfortable in there, but I don't think WAG will be contented just be on that 7th spot. They want more, just to prove that they can, or they might be able to grab a few more Booyahs when it comes to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, that's why Xborg in the interview was specifically mentioning that winning the tournament is hard, but getting like top 3, or at the very least end and get into point rush in top 3 is very viable for them. At that point, it's kind of whether or not they can just lock in that day to get the extra few points they need. I think for a lot of the teams, it is coming to that point where it's difficult to consistently have good performances in an ever-changing environment.
Yeah, and one thing that worries me though for Vietnam is PE Sports. Though they are not playing right now for today, but the performance was overshadowed by both YE Sports for the first week as well as WH from today. So I hope by tomorrow PE Sports will be hearing this, watching all the VODs as well, and finding out a way to get a comfortable position in the top 12 by the end of the week. They will not be pressured even against their own countrymen or probably the other regions who might overtake them towards the end of the
That's a good point. That's a good point. But then again, if we're talking about countrymen, we got to talk about RRQ Kazu, who's really broken away from the rest of the Indonesians, right? Like completely different tax bracket altogether. They've been finding major success at the beginning of FFWS Southeast Asia all the way till now, and they haven't really dropped their performance. Maybe on one or two maps, especially when teams adjust, but with an 8.1 overall elimination score, they're coming up big in terms of profit every single map.
For RRQ Kazu, because they even beat most of the Thailand teams, and at this point in time in the competition, the top 5 will be all Thailand teams. But as you mentioned, they broke through that barrier. They are in second place, good chance to be a number 1 by the end of the day, and I love how it works, and hopefully that would be for the other Indonesian region, or to be honest, other region apart from Thailand, to move and perform even well so that they can break off the ranks that Thailand is just a great team that you cannot beat.
I mean, as a region, they're very difficult to take. Overall standing, it's very evident that they're going to be at the top of the bracket. Second in that bracket is going to be Vietnam, and everybody else is for those spots. I think only very few outliers make it into the top 5, and even so, we're worried about the damage dealers of each of these teams because Export continues to skyrocket today, overtaking Do.
Yeah, I mean, Do is one of the snipers that you really don't want to let go, like let go on one side. 1-3 as what we've seen from Moshi for Bordeaux United, Export from WAG, as well as Do from all AG Global. That is where they take advantage to give information as well as dealt a lot of damage, and that's why the 3 players right there that we just put in so much. And it's not just the damage, it's more of the elimination as well, especially for Moshi, who is going toe-to-toe with their teammate, which is Wasana, who is top 3 on the headshot with the Trogon, and well, it is Cypher, even Diamond is using that Trogon for the headshot.
Yeah, man. Especially when you're that close, it's expected that you land a headshot, even if you're not directly looking at, pointing at the person's head, just hoping that the spray itself, radius, will be able to clip a couple of shots. Even then, and so these past couple of games have been extremely bloody in the early game, very calm in the mid game, and very heated towards the end. I mean, the last leg, usually teams can test each other really hard. We haven't seen like a 4-5 ring just yet, but that just might be the case here for our upcoming map.
Yeah, let's see on what will be happening on Nextera right now. Let's see if they can read the future based on how futuristic this map is, but I will be happy to see hot drops overall. And this time, I'm going to ask for a kind flight path, because we've given all like one cruel and one almost cruel, so I guess it's about time for me to ask for a better flight path to give more chances for the team to thrive.
And out here with the city of the future, Nextera, our combatants already loaded up. Let's find out whether this flight path is going to be cruel or kind. The RNG gods be with all of our players here today. We've seen some pretty bad ones. Nowadays, it has calmed down with only one cruel map path. Center, you got what you wished. And this is a very kind one.
Yeah, I mean, straight in the middle. Gives way for the team to really choose a drop spot, and if in case they want to change, especially with all the hot drops and early engagement that's happening, causing them to lose any point for the map. So this will be more interesting towards the end. But speaking of nation and early engagement, again, this doesn't stop them from taking all those. Onyx Olympus was able to take a few more, and not only that, Onyx Olympus will point challenging a few from their surrounding. It's Team X-Man, and I'm crossing my fingers. Hopefully, X-Band will not be eliminated early because that happened for 2 maps already.
Yeah, I mean, X-Band has been farmed early game every single time, and sometimes they make it through. Majority of the time, they have not won those engagements. Heavy now taking the elimination leader. We're seeing that Heavy and Twisted Minds really deep in the action. Even Todak was taking a couple of shots and actually winning out, getting what's happening. But we've got 3 teams in the area. Heavy on the northern side, WAG kind of split into half, with even Twisted Minds nearby, scouting out, trying to capitalize on as many out-of-position targets as possible.
Yeah, I mean, they will be spreading out, especially with loss of Gririn, and they don't want to risk losing another player. So a few of the teams, or the players of the teams, the WAG, will be heading into a few compounds right here, prioritizing on the vending machine. But with the 2 teams going against them, it might spell trouble at this point. For X-Band, though, they lost one of the players, brought them back, and still challenge Onyx Olympus and the Axel. A little bit too aggressive, a little bit too big in against 2 players of Onyx Olympus.
Yeah, he realizes that a majority of the Onyx Olympus members are actually... What? The corner ends up dying for it. Gets the trade instantaneously, as the rest of X-Band should capitalize on it. Need to start flanking them straight away, but the right side is completely exposed, and their sniper from the side of Onyx Olympus doing a phenomenal job of keeping them alive. A kill already found, and Onyx managing to clear out a majority of the members, staying as the elimination leaders and wiping out X-Band from the area.
That from 1 elimination, being the leader, they now have 5 elimination. But going into another engagement, it is Bigatron Delta beating down GOW, and Demon will be falling down after Dion has been taken out as well. But for this team, no one will be taken out, no one will be eliminated just yet. Still 12 remain, and back-to-back revive will be happening as we spot Ffws Sports, who's challenging Evo's Divine, and Abax will be brought to his knees, and that goal for Evo's Divine to be slowed down from the early part of this match.
To be fair, Abax in the earlier stages of the game usually goes for as much information as possible. Him going down isn't the worst, because at least for EVOS, they can usually they have a person by a POI or a revive point. We do see that Aim God forced at the very corner of the blue. Looks like maybe the rest of his team members might not be in position to get the revive. And in matter of fact, Ffws are about to collide, both of which noticing each other.
And this is trouble, or this might be trouble for YE Sports. They're chasing and giving out all the information in their position as well to Bigatron Delta. So iCall might give out that, and as you can see, Kyung is flying. The rest of the team of Bigatron Delta is flying in, and it's in a different direction than YE Sports. But 1v1 Death will bring, or try to bring Death against Aim God. The rest of YE Sports will, there you have it, Aim God eliminated in that engagement.
Yep, sounds like a good idea, but we need to see how BTR actually responds, and it looks like they're bringing the majority of the fighting force right into the blue, and iCall finds one in Death, looking for a second one, trying to get him through the glue walls. They get the first elimination here, but the rest of BTR should easily start collapsing this position with no natural cover. They flank fast, and now BTR with 7 eliminations, about to be 8, going to be able to be ones to hold the title of elimination leader.
And YE Sports is still alive and kicking, not yet out just yet thanks to Shin, but a few damage will be dealt, not only with that blue. BTR right now is just tanking the blue, trying to find out where the final member, but they will be using that launch pad to get in. On the other side, the GOW Onyx Olympus not yet over with their battle, but Ton is in a ton of trouble going against 3 players in this matchup.
Yep, he's pushed up way too far here with the rest of the GOW members just not in position to cover him, right? They can only look over his shoulder, but even then, without natural cover, there's no way to buy. Being said, Onyx not taking advantage, knowing that they're down a member, getting a revive early, sure, whatever, he still needs to re-equip himself. They find another pick into Demon, and that's a great shot coming in from Jack.
Good position coming from Jack, taking that high ground just to make sure that no one will escape their view. And there goes elimination. Let's see if DN can survive this. He is heading straight to the rest off the squads who's just waiting, and WAG is being silent at this point. Xbor far away from the rest of the team because as a sniper, he can manage himself. But the question is, who will be challenging them after this fight?
I'm pretty sure the WAG got spotted out by a UAV earlier, unless it was their UAV that they were throwing out. I'm not sure if they actually scanned out the members. In the meantime, no, it looks like they're okay. WAG going straight into the arsenal to re-equip. They're already finding a position within the ring. Now it's about clearing out their backs. So they're going to sit outside for a little bit to gatekeep the rest time before the blue actually closes.
Wow, I mean, plenty of time and plenty of space to move in this area. Now, Xbor not spotting us yet as we move into a different part of the map where RRQ is running with the blue. Probably have met Twisted Mind in that engagement and is being waited for, or the launch pad will be used. Diamond a little short on the jump, but prioritization will be that compound. Now RRQ knows that they might do the same in the other direction.
For how long, though? They're going to be different side of the map, outside in the blue. Ooh, they're taking vehicles. Looks like they want to go even further south. Looking on the southwestern side, Hua has to deal multiple having verticality on their side, winning out that fight pretty handily. And they're super close to the ring. So the long side of the blue getting pulled from the northeast. Heavy finding themselves in a pretty good spot.
Now let's see if they can find GOW as well. Two players will be stragglers at this point after a player where our teams will be eliminated. Now for Heavy, they need to move into a different direction from Farmtopia. But as we head into a different Todak, Evos, and Twisted Mind, a triple threat, triple battle is bound to happen, especially when Todak moves in with the blue.
I don't know. I think that EVOS, they're really spread thin here. Twisted Mind's going to take full advantage, pushing Ray out of position to find natural cover of their own. The main front line of EVOS is forced to pivot and give up on Todak's position because of their compromised left flank. And now Diamond taking shots in, exposing what used to be a vulnerable point for EVOS Divine. And if they find this kill, if Ray cannot protect his god, aim god, it could still buying time. Nate's coming out. Oh, and they find it. Oh my goodness, that actually killed through it. All right, nicely done.
Double kill.
It's a good thing FGL has been introduced in the tournament scene. Much potential into breaking through that glue wall. I'm not talking about like breaking the glue wall itself, but the damage that can be dealt. But they spotted Todak as well, and they're not expecting that jump. But Diamond has been taken down, knocked down up instantaneously with that heal with a Kazi. They can recover that well, but Todak will not letting it go for the flank though. But Evil's Divine still waiting on a Twisted Mind.
I think Todak want to take advantage of the situation, but at the same time, do they have enough members? I only spot Divine is taking all the precautions. Twisted Minds will take advantage of this. As EVOS Divine keeps them in the building, they start invading it. And these two kills should fall into the hands of Twisted Minds fairly easily. Wait, Traps Minds a lot of time, and Hua, because of this extra bot time, Hua now getting really deep inside the ushers in to find as many kills as possible. As Todak gets eliminated in 12th place, we see that even the sniper really far away doesn't mind letting their team, the frontliners, do the majority of the work.
Yeah, Twisted Mind right now has done the work against Todak, but with the help of Hua in there. But Twisted Mind is feeling the heat from some of the teams, specifically RRQ, who's just laying back in there waiting for anyone to pop up and shoot them down. But RRQ, good spot, high ground, Twisted Mind, Evil's Divine, even Trouble, and RRQ will be the team that will be farming all those points.
Yep, we see WAG pushing out Falcons off of the second floor of this connected building. This final ring might be interesting if it pulls to the north side after the blue actually closes in. Because if it pulls into the southern side, whoever moves first probably is going to get punished unless they make it to the canisters. The transport canisters just outside the compound.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like if that is the case, Onyx Olympus will be there first. The question will be how defensive will, how good will be there after that. But RQ right now challenging Twisted Mon, and it's not working for the team from Thailand. Still, the Indonesian team of RRQ proving that they can beat anyone from Thailand up close and personal. Losing sight of Evo's Divine, they need to move towards, I think it headed to the north of that last circle. So it will spell trouble in that area because they're all clumped in a small area.
Yeah, and BTR is the only team that's currently outside. Well, I stand corrected. I stand corrected. It wasn't just BTR that was outside the blue. Even RRQ were going to be playing. Oh, it pulled towards the western side. WAG wanting to take the full engagement against RRQ, isolated by themselves, not expecting anybody to go for a third.
Now let's see if RRQ will survive this battle, especially with the momentum WAG has in this competition. But being back into the blue, damage will be dealt and felt, but Miles still at it, even with a few HP on him. Here comes the jump, cuts through all players, but didn't survive. Abe, the only guy remaining, medkit gameplay, 10 on him. Help him fight back, or probably put on a clutch, but no, he will be going away, trying to buy teammates on that machine, but that with a risk of being taken down by that blue.
Oh, he's going to be running out of medkits really, really soon. I don't know if he can make it actually make it back into the ring. I don't know what other active items he has in his inventory. But let's cut back to where the circle is right now, because Heavy has a really good position. Now having full control over this compound. While BTR on the north side, with the majority of the team still unable to move from their northern compound, their huge little condominium ends up being not that great of an investment.
I mean, it is not paying off for them, but Heavy really needs to put a lot of work, 41 points, to get to that 12th spot, to hope that Onyx Olympus will not get a lot of points as well. But Gardo will be going down. Keep it only one remaining, tries and flies in onto the next other side of this circle. WAG though, 12 elimination already, still challenging BTR, and no Riptide Rhythm being pulled on. It's more of gunshots and gunfire to break those glue walls, and it's still working for WAG. They are not being taken down, though a few damage will be received, and there you go, no more cover. Still, WAG survives.
Ooh. Oh, these dates are getting really close, and they've already found the last member of RRQ who gets eliminated in 5th place. Krillin peaks a little too wide, and BTR pulling line. Go, go, go! As the paratroopers start walking through the defensive lines, BTR has done some good work, but eventually WAG still now taking some revenge onto BTR. It looks like BTR is going to get right into the mix in the structure on the opposite. If they can get these two teams to collide, they might be able to clutch out a win. If casualties are at an all-time high, but WAG, they say, no, we're not falling for it. We just stand back and let the action happen.
Yeah, and at this point, WAG will just be waiting as who will be stepping out of that compound, but a few names, a few melters being thrown at them by BTR, because the rooftop is giving them all those information. And glue walls already cleared out. Koja still survive, proning and healing, but Ekal will try to defend themselves, also receiving a few damage. Poppy, on the other hand, managed to survive, hiding out, sneaky guy, and Heavy, and doesn't know that he is there, and they're just hanging back, similar to what we're seeing from WAG.
Yeah, I think WAG need to hold a couple of their resources. Here comes the Riptide Rhythm, right? They're going to be losing a majority. They want to control this right side as much as they can to push Heavy out the opposite way, as BTR, they're stuck on this roof for the longest of time. With Poppy as the last man standing, Heavy, they don't know how many members are still around. Oh, wait, the nades are coming through, and the end game begins.
Yeah, let's see if the end game will head to WAG. They have more chance of getting into the ball circle. No elimination. I guess they are going for the meta game, but no heal happening. Let's see a lot of takedowns. Heavy WAG is 50-50. Looks like WAG might get this end. It is Bigatron, Delta, Ekal, healing gameplay. back to yesterday as they grab that booyah.
You could see how early of a call they made. They said, boys, you guys fight, deal damage. I'm going to start healing. They don't know where I am. And they cleanly end that scenario. BT are finding their booyah of the day after having some performances against the big dog teams, now finding success of their own to the lobby.
Yeah, the second booyah for the Delta team, Bigatron Delta. And the same scenario, that's the same timing is what happened yesterday for the first as well as the last match of the day. They got used to it just to spot that situation, identified when and where you can use the medic gameplay, and that leads to a booyah in spite of all the chaos.
Yep, plenty of chaos actually happening. A very interesting end game ring at the very end there. Ooh, two structures, a wide open field in between, and you have to make some really tough decisions. We just want to fight. And surprisingly enough, with only 2 members, they pull through.
Yeah, I mean, they really pulled through from that. Let's check out the highlights to spot in what happened in this game where Expand managed to get a few takedowns against Onyx Olympus, but double, especially with all the pressure that Onyx Olympus has brought to them. Thus, another early elimination for Team Expand. That is 3 out of 4, or 4 out of 5 maps that they didn't get any points. So in total, after next 6 points.
Really not a good day for Expand. They've really been struggling in the early game, right? I think that's their big problem. It's not like they don't make smart macro decisions. Unfortunately, they don't even get to that point. And I think that's their major issue. It's either they stop taking these engagements or they need to turn a switch or something.
Yeah, I mean, they really need to do something at this point. But this final moment, similar from what we've seen yesterday, I love the timing of this. But if in case WAG or one of the players of WAG has a horizon line, there is a good chance that will be a battle of resources if they save up a lot. But we've seen before that Final Inc. wasted a lot already in glue wall and glue wall melters. But in a medic, with that are staying out in the open, also risk them losing all of those.
They definitely needed to just hold on to a couple of grenades. You know, a single cluster in that very final ring would have been devastating damage. Or at the very least, hold on to your Riptide Rhythm, right? The only few reasons that I can imagine that UAG's position is only if you're blocked access from getting into that side of the ring. And even so, getting the high ground out practically impossible without having, like, I don't know, a portal go, maybe a launch pad, or getting access to the inside of that building, which heavy.
Yeah, I mean, they had full control, but there's still hope for WAG because based on that performance, they had a lot of elimination. So no surprise if they are the ones in #1 spot, despite of the booyah being taken Delta. But going back to Bigatron Delta, RQ did mention that this is a team that is a threat for him, and this is showing why. They are being aggressive all throughout this competition, and they know how to time themselves not to just survive. So let's head over to the interview and let's listen what Bigatron Delta has to say about that booyah.
Congratulations, Bigatron Delta! Make some noise, everyone! I'm so excited. This is the third booyah for Indonesian teams. Wow! Today is Indonesian Teams Day, right? So, as usual, I'm Baby Lee. Before we start the last game, I wanna chit-chat with someone, one of the player from Bigatron Delta. Hi, Kal.
Hi.
Okay, you have good performance today, and you always fight with Team Falcons. What makes you able to beat them?
Kita tuh penasaran, kamu kan selalu fight sama tim Falcons. Apa sih yang ngebuat kalian bisa mengalahkan tim Falcons?
Oh, untuk mengalahkan dia sih kita dari awal week 1 pun udah belajar gimana posisi snipernya dan gimana cara dia.
From the very first week, we have learned their position, how they play, so we can fight them.
Oh, wow. Interesting, right? Difficulty for you guys to obtain booyah, because this is the second booyah so far.
Apa sih kesulitan kalian untuk mendapatkan booyah?
Kesulitannya sih dari diri sendiri sih, kayak nafsu, egoisnya dari diri sendiri dan teman-teman.
Egoisnya.
Ya. Contohnya tadi hampir gagal buya juga karena dua orangnya nafsu.
Okay. He said that I think the because of our ego, and for example, in the last minutes,
Oh,
we
wow.
were kind of like beating each other instead of fighting the other team.
But I'm sure Bigetron Delta have a good performance today. So we still have one game after this. And last but not least, what do you want to say to BTR fans?
Fans BTR.
Thank you sudah dukung kita dari week 1 sampai sekarang. Jangan lupa dukung kita sampai dan lanjut ke grand final di Surabaya nanti.
He said that thank you for always supporting us from the very first week until now, and don't forget to always support BTR until.
Right. Once again, make some noise for Bigetron Delta! Thank you so much, Ikal.
Thank
Good
you.
luck for Bigetron Delta. Good luck for Indonesian team because we still have one game today. And I hope Indonesian teams will give us the best performance in the last game. So, Shoutcaster, take it away.
With Aikal, again, some really good shots overall, but some very good insight, right? Very realistic person, explaining that even in the final moments with just 2 members alive, the fact that they got a booyah may not have been as clean as we initially thought, battling amongst themselves in high egos. And I can understand why high egos, because they are winning a majority of their gunfights.
Yeah, I mean, the Jordan dogs, we're talking about RRQ. Well, RRQ was just introduced to their hit list towards like just at this point of the competition. But initially, it's either Team Falcons or United, if not Twisted Mind. But again, their target is always the ones in the top. That also led to them away from that top 12. But this is their chance. As Baby Lee did mention, this is their only second booyah. But apart from that, they built as the Giant Slayer because of how well they played. And this is the chance that they have to catch up, not on the ego, but more on the points.
I mean, overall, their points are looking better at the very least with this booyah. Started off the day not being in top 12, and now the fact that they are in top 12 is looking good. Every one of these points is going to matter to create that gap, that buffer necessary to stay ahead of PE Olympus and even Evos Divine, who honestly started out pretty well today, but hasn't been able to find as much success in the latter half.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing, because other teams from Indonesia is already performing that well, that they are being overshadowed and put into this battle. Still, as we can see in the composition of the team, there's only a few minor adjustments compared to for the patch. So I guess that is something that they need to work on to be consistent enough to outperform the other teams that might take them back to that 13th place or even lower. But well, or 10 points to be able to catch up with GOW. Not so bad for this team of Bigetron Delta, given that this is their first FF.
And considering that this is their very first run, they're doing a really good job. By the end of this game, our elims leader sitting at the top of the list is going to be Alan. He did find a good number of eliminations before he went down. Same can be said about Cyrus as well. X4 finding his own 5 eliminations, not too surprised about that. But in 4th and 5th place is where we see the BTR members. It could have been a little bit more if they had full fighting capacity. But man, especially when you're up against like 4 to maybe even 5 other squads in that final ring, it can get a little hard to show yourselves.
Yeah, but showing themselves will still be X4 with. Let's head over to the game standing, and this is what I'm talking about. BTR did get the booyah, not number 1. 20 eliminations for that game, and this is the momentum the WAG, or let's say some of the Vietnamese squad, can offer. Once they grab that booyah, he was on, and hopefully it doesn't die down because we only have 1 match left.
Yep, and I mean, I gotta give props to the WAG, right? Despite week 1 not hitting the quota, every other week they've hit the quota, right? 164 points by week 2, 200 points by week 3 of week number 4. I would only imagine that they're getting closer and closer to surpassing 150.
Yeah, I mean, they're already at 94 just for today, and there's a lot more that they can do in terms of gameplay. So let's see. Probably the next map still favor WAG, or if not, probably Bigatron Delta, because they really need the points. So the spot. So they can move up against the AG or AG Global with only a few points. I'm eyeing on Bigatron Delta to get that first. So I want to see Bigatron Delta on that point rush as well as grand final.
But that's under the assumption that we're comfortable or have found success today, which has to be, well, I would lean more into Purgatory, but oh man, after the Nexera map, they're looking really, really hot. Oh, could it turn a little bit more? No, it's Alpine, one to the Hilltops once more.
Hilltops once more, and I'm pretty sure a lot is, in terms of random maps, a lot is going to the RNG gods. Why Alpine? Why Alpine again? It's because every time it comes to randomizer, the randomizer really loves picking this map. But changes in terms of, I would say, probability, because Bermuda is also being introduced more into that game number 6. But as we look map into this group, Bigatron Delta has a great chance of being number 1 for this last map.
Now, Alpine is interesting because at the start of the day, we saw a lot of the other teams actually step up. But as soon as we hit Alpine, all of that momentum died out. Teams like Torak, for an example, weren't able to find any success. And this was the very first map where we didn't see them coming out with some big big elimination scores like we saw in map number 1 and 2, Bermuda and Purgatory.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Team Falcons did quite well in Alpine. They grabbed Booyah with 12 elimination as well. So let's see if they can make that happen once again. Looking back at Bigatron Delta, Alpine is their best map. 100 points in total after playing it 9 times, and they're averaging of 11 points totally. But in terms of average and as well as say best performance, next was their best choice in terms of numbers. Let's see on how it will work this time. I'm still eyeing on WAG as well as Bigatron Delta to make a great move in this map.
Once again, let's bring out your winter wear. Are you ready to head back up to the highest of heights here in the Free Fire World Series as we head on over to Alpine as our very final map of today, the decider walking away with more points at the end of this match.
Let's see if the flight path will be a cruel one or a kind one. It's been alternating overall, so no surprise if it will be a cruel flight path this game. A lot of teams already flying through. RQ taking the lead, and on a different direction will be Onyx Olympus. But as we look into this, it's quite kind. It's quite, or every team will be happy apart from those who will be eliminated or taken down from early engagement.
Yeah, speaking of early engagements, I'm curious to see where Expand land. They have been farmed out a majority of today, especially for the very first engagement, especially when they start landing hot, right? We see just taking a large majority of the southeastern side of the map. Even the small island has been dominated by them as well. GOW on the opposite side of the map, looting of their own, but WAG is very nearby.
Very nearby, and let's see if WAG can break through this battle to give them more chance later on. But GOW, a little bit spread, a little too thin. And I think T hasn't seen Alan just yet, but if that is the case, they might be in for a surprise. Good thing that backup will be in there, if I'm not mistaken, being used. But Alan is, has been spotted.
He doesn't
might
know.
be surprised. And Team Max 7 up close and turns it around. Alan, what is that?
That's the Tatsuya diff. That's the Tatsuya diff. That dash is so good in the early game. It's really hard, especially at close distances, even with a shotgun. You just needed a couple more clean shots. Let's look at this current combat situation here with EVOS Divide taking the high ground. Wait, I thought BTR was holding on to the major compound, but it looks like they're forced back into a corner here with Heavy in every single angle. Oh no, Without it, he's in trouble. Ffws Divine has found him straggling by himself. Know where BTR is, but Heavy, they have to answer the question, do we turn back and look at Ffws Divine, or do we double down on towards BTR?
I mean, they have to focus on one direction because they are smack dead in the middle, and Heavy is receiving a heavy damage. And it's back is Kabi, but when he turned, he got shot down. Pan is still alive though, thanks to that revive, and they might be able to pull away from this chaos at Ffws Divine, and Bigatron Delta will be ensuing.
Yeah, Bigatron Delta at this point of time making the smart choice, right? In case things go south, they already had their sniper take an off-angle position of the militia area. But they want to get back into this, right? They know that it's only one squad in here, and Ffws Divine has been dropped upon. Oh, Koja getting blasted. Hoots, he finds the knockdown and the elimination. Apex eventually falls down, but Bray quickly taking down the with no issues whatsoever. They get the revive onto being good position. Dick ends up getting traded straight away. The MP are doing some really good work.
Yeah, I mean, MP5, that is the same thing that we've seen earlier on. Team Falcons right now going against Expando. Expand has received a lot of elimination against Team Falcons. This time, even would pick up a few wasted resources will be used. And let's see if Expand will attempt of getting away right here, right there, because Team Falcons is already recovered 4-man strong, and in fact will be Team Heavy, and a lot of teams might be waiting.
Yeah, Heavy able to get the revives and surviving. Not sure whether they're at full fighting capacity just yet, but this is a very bold move, I'm not gonna lie. Poor Captain, not looking, he got caught sleeping at the wheel.
And the nerf of the Woodpecker still not showing up. They're still being used quite well. Early engagement, early drop is a viable weapon. Mid to long range engagement, even up close, especially for efficient player, proficient player, just like X4. But Team Falcons, 4 eliminations already. They have been pushed into the 6th place for the day. Let's see if they can grab a few more to inspire them in the next ensue. But for Onyx Olympus, WAG, there is no one is making a great move just yet, apart from Gary's flying in. And I guess that is because the knockdown has been done against WAG.
Yep, the top of their compound is already compromised, so WAG forced to pull back closer. They're caught outside. Not exactly having the best of time. Export does win out of that engagement at the very least, but they got to regroup, and they got to regroup quick with the rest of the Onyx members. Look, searching out for blood at this point. Falcons, pretty nice. So we do see revives on both the Expand and as well as BTR. Ooh, Gary nearly catching Cyrus out with that cluster. Looks like they're forcing them back in.
Yeah, and split up. Allen will be pushed by 2 players, Gardo as well as Kiba. Allen still managed to peel away, get into the ground floor, probably needs some help from Cyrus for backup. And there still escaped the Houdini artist, Allen of WAG.
Oh boy. Let's see how long Allen can actually hold up with Kibes and as well as Gardu. Cyrus and as well as Krillin don't have line of sight of him just yet. They find them, that'd be great, but I don't think they're going to get intercepted. Allen has to reposition closer towards his team, but it looks like he got caught out by Gardu, gets knocked down straight away, was not prepared for the quick swing.
Yeah, I mean, even if he managed to fight back, another one will be coming in from the roof, and that will spell trouble for them. Kiba will also be taken down, and Onyx Olympus is about to see the blue as well as a few players from WAG. Hopefully they can survive. 4-man is eating them. The damage might not hurt, but with the addition of gunshots coming from WAG, they might be eliminated, but they are staying strong, staying alive, and WAG are the ones losing in this gunfight.
Oh, I mean, Jack, he's trying his best, right? He's on the angle. Oh, Allen immediately gets a trade, turns around for another one. Allen is already dead, and that means that Onyx have convincingly won this fight. So much work finding the initial knock by the marketplace, and then eventually closing off the angles as well. Binoculars used, they know what direction WAG is running, and now Onyx, at this point, they've got 5 eliminations, no harm in actually going for the hunt.
Indeed, I mean, if they hit the stadium, we're not seeing any trouble for them to do so. And there you go, X4 being taken down, but WAG is not eliminated on this game, and there is a good chance that they may meet up later on. Heading over to the other side, you have Team Falcon slowly putting heavy damage against Team Heavy.
Yep, and they're making sure that they're taking their time. They don't mind tanking the blue. It's still very early on. Expand has not been able to recover, as we see that Torak actually is not too far from Kachik, who is slowly rotating onto their side. But Torak, they're being very patient with this. They're actually having a pretty wide spread in the blue just to watch Falcon and see what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, Todak had a good run, and after 2 matches, they are left back to their usual way, only getting 3 or 2 points in terms of elimination and not even any placement. So they want to try and go prioritize on placement, positioning themselves in the best, in the next circles, and then that's where they grab elimination and probably this time around a buoyant for themselves.
Well, that'd be ideal. That happened today. Heavy now getting completely run down by the Falcons. Vehicle actually obtained by Heavy. Can they get out of here before the rest of Falcon just be that vehicle and stopping them from actually escaping? Because then Heavy have a free way in towards the ring, unless Falcons have other resources they want to use, like a portal go, or maybe eject themselves into zone.
Yeah, let's see if they can do so. Team Falcon trying their best to move. The vehicle is being used by one, probably just to scout out, make sure that no one will be waiting for them, and no one is. But they're still far away from next phase, so this gives time to recover, probably to prepare for a gatekeeper.
Yep, and now that we see that Falcon obtaining both their vehicles, making a move, one of their members is actually marked. Information not going to be that useful, especially when they're outside of the ring. I don't know who applied it, but in the meantime, we see that Hua in the middle of conflict with Kodak at this point of time, getting zoned away, but they're splitting half.
Yeah. Let's see if this rotation will work for them. Probably Y Sports is also prioritizing on that vending machine, or probably a hunt against Team Falcons, because I think they're the ones who marked them. But Traps right now putting pressure and a hit against Death, bringing him to his death. But onto the horizon, we're seeing Team Falcon taking the high ground. Still marked though, so Traps and the rest of Todak have good visuals on them, but they need to move. In spite of them nearing the next phase of the circle, a lot of eyes are on them.
Too late. Falcons take advantage of the situation. I thought that Todak might be aware of what Hua Esports was up to, right? Now Falcons will take full advantage. With a man down on Todak's side, Falcons will start to muscle their way through as they take the ground. I don't know. Oh, they're hiding underneath bridges. Interesting. Do they spot them out? Yeah, they see Traps almost straight away. Not sure what Kodak's plan is at this point.
I think like they are just going in for that distraction and leaving the rest of the team to base of the circle, probably by the back, but that's a lot of resources to be wasted, a lot of free fire points to be wasted, and Raja will be with 8 eliminations already. 12 teams still remains on our third phase going forward.
Outside, we've seen a lot of action on the western side of the map, but let's look down to the south side with Expand still in it to win it, having to face off their bitter rivals on it to get into the zone. RRQ, on the other hand, doing some good work against BTR for now, but 2 minds getting heavy in the conflict as well on the opposite side of the compound. BTR eject themselves out of the side, and Diggs manages just to get out just in time.
Yeah, just in time, indeed, only a few HP. That is one thing being shot at from this guys. And the Evo Zivino, kill leader for this game, trying and finding Koja at this point, while RRQ on their side is also waiting. 3v4, not looking good for Evo Divine, but it's even worse for BTR as well.
Oh man, look at the eastern side. WAG, God of Wolf, and as well as Kodak involved in this. This little shack getting sieged down by God of Wolf. Yeah, they have a major disadvantage in terms of just raw numbers, right? So they're just going to let God of Wolf do all the heavy lifting here and still stay inconspicuous.
Yeah, I mean, 8 seconds into closing, Kodak really doesn't need to move unless different team will be rushing into the compound. Heading into the other side of this very, very small circle, 3 teams still gaining their battle where Saming is just watching out and open, hoping that he will not be spotted as he head to the circle.
Yep. I mean, feeling Voss heavy in the conflict so far, playing on the outer rim of the compound. It looks like TROPA already achieved here. Voss should be able to clean this up pretty quick. Razor's already down. He's still at full fighting force, but G'day next to fall. RRQ already at top 9, 4th ring of the game, and it's already pretty tight for a majority of these players, right? Muslim's really struggling to get in.
And this is the real struggle because there's a lot of teams from this circle closes, but now, as quickly as that, 3 teams has, or 3 teams has been eliminated, make that 4, including Todag. Onyx Olympus needs to make a move. On their left would be Falcons, and on their right would be Heavy and Geo. Onyx Olympus is really struggling with the blue eating them up.
Yep, this was too much. Expand the next to fall, quickly launching themselves. Gary trying to play for some position, but these are out in the open. But he falls into the crosshairs of GOW. We look at Falcons now. BTR next to go at 5th. Top Force in it. God of Wolf, and as well as Falcons. EVOS on the opposite end. As we see that Falcons have a prime position to walk in the next ring, but no natural cover to work around. GOW just playing around a singular tree, but Heavy is going to take ruthless punishment trying to get and escape the blue.
I don't think the GOW on this side all healed up, and there you have it. Havoc is ensuing. Carnage being brought in to Heavy, and GOW alive with 10 elimination. GOW becoming the gods themselves in this fight. Let's see if they can take down the gods of Free, which is a Team Falcons on one side and Indonesian White Tigers on the other.
We've also trying to hold out for as long as they can. Not a lot of play area to work with. And worst yet, they're the most clumped up team. GOW and as well as Falcons both peppering them from every single angle. Blue wall melters as well. They're trying to take out this 3rd weak team out of the way. You're qualified for top 2. Let's punish as much as we can. And look at the clusters as well as blue wall melters. Falcons should be able to clean them out, no problem, and they find it. Trading back and forth. And now it's a full 4v4. Falcons versus God of Wolf. Let's begin.
As the games begin, how will this end? Team Falcons doing so well at this point that they are now GOW is rushing them. But all clumped up into one area. There goes the takedown on Coscu. Coscu will be eliminated. Karoro and Peter on the right-hand side as one more is distracting. A little bit delayed on the rush. Demon finally being taken down. Ian tries to run away, but Isa rushes in with a Drogon. And 1v1, Dion lose more on the turnaround, taking the booyah for Team Falcons, the 2nd for the day.
Best case scenario for Falcons. They found the perfect spot. They worked together with other teams to take down some of the weaker members, and especially teams who are missing one guy. Really good stuff coming in from Falcons. We know that they get explosive when it's a full 4v4, and they continue to prove why EWC was just part of the repertoire.
Well, it's not surprising anymore because I've seen this so many times. The moment that Team Falcons has a risk of going beyond half of the top 12, this happened. They perform well, themselves afloat. Yes, they might be far from those who are in a 100-point lead, but at least they're still part of the top 12 and little chance for them to be pushed down despite of having one day of rest. So that's just Team Falcons. Base still happen.
It continues to happen, right? I think the MVP of today has to go to grenades. I think the grenades have played such a very big role. For the recap, all you see are people's positions getting absolutely flushed out here by these clusters. Our grenadiers, our bombardier roles is really something of a staple, but at the very least, right? We're not in the latter half of today, and especially, I'm happy that God of Wolf is able to make it this far, but I would have liked to see this performance happen a little earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt them to do that, but there are a few teams really that takes a lot of time to warm up. And thus the knockout stage really becomes more surprisingly towards the latter part, the last week of the knockout stage. So let's see if a few changes might help them improve, get that consistency. But I still love how GLW made that work, taking second, going against the Team Falcons, and Team Falcons grabbing their second Booyah. I love to see more. I love to see more Team Falcons probably try to chase down the #1 spot, but it's quite far. It's not impossible.
Yeah, it definitely isn't impossible. They had a couple of slow days building up to it, but maybe they can get outside. Let's throw it to an interview with Falcons, the winner of this game.
Hi, Sky, again from Team Falcon! Yay! Hello, can you introduce yourself?
แนะนำตัวเองหน่อยค่ะ
สวัสดีครับผมครับ
Guys, I'm Team Falcon Peter.
This is Peter. So, I heard that BTR mentioned about you that they can beat you every time they fight with you because they already they have started all of your G. What do you think about that?
ก็คือเมื่อกี้ทีม VTR ตอนที่เขาให้สัมภาษณ์อะเขาบอกว่าที่เขาชนะเราแทบจะทุกครั้งเลยเรียกว่าเกือบทั้งหมดเพราะว่าเขาว่าศึกษาทีมเน้นศึกษาการเล่นของทีมเราเลยเราคิดยังไงกับเรื่องนี้คะ
ไอ้ที่บอกว่าศึกษานี่เรียกว่าก๊อปหรือเปล่าครับ
So you said you do you study about us can you say that you study or actually you just copy us
Wow. So, do you have any plan to deal with them?
มีแผนรับมือกับพวกเขายังไงคะ
ก็พวกเรา2 ทีมแล้วกันครับ
Wow.
My team don't wanna say that much so just let's see in the finals
What we can expect in the final round about you, the fight between you and BTR?
แล้วเราคาด
เราสามารถคาดหวัง
คาดหวังได้ยังไงว่าจะเจ
ว่า
อ
จะเกิดอะไรขึ้นกับไฟท์ของพวกคุณ2 ทีม
ก็เดี๋ยวมีเซอร์ไพรส์แน่นอนครับ ทีมเราวางแผนมาเป็นอย่างดีแน่นอนครับ
So let's wait and see the surprise because we will have something for surprise as a plan.
Okay. So, last but not least, anything you want to say to your fans?
มีอะไรอยากฝากถึงแฟนๆไหมคะ
ก็ฝากเป็นกำลังใจให้พวกเราด้วยนะครับ ที่เห็นฟอร์มไม่ดีก็อย่าเพิ่งทิ้งกันนะครับ
Please share and we might not perform well but please still support and don't abandon us.
And this is Peter from Team Falcon, guys. We have 1 day left, so stay tuned. See you tomorrow. Bye.
And there you have it. Words from Peter himself. Man is very cold. He's just like, we'll see you in the finals. You're not a threat until you are a threat.
And that's one thing, the confidence from Peter, and I would say the confidence for the entire team. Not a lot of teams are like showing that they have had, but definitely Falcons or Peter has showed us a hint that they are hiding strats or giving us a surprise towards the finals. But it's not the first time. Rhythm United has taken knockout stages from previous competition, but when it comes to the finals, Team Falcons managed to take it away. So that is expected overall for this team.
Well, after their stellar performance at EWC, they continue to show why they are on top. When they first started out, they used to be just very nervous young boys, and now they're really coming and finding themselves in the professional scene.
Yeah, so one thing I was set in my mind is I won't question Team Falcons anymore. If they're performing like bad in a specific week, a specific day, I won't question them anymore. Because like most of what will happen, most of the truth will be happening in the finals. So that's just me. But as you can see, Coscu really put in a lot in terms of changing how they play. Well, they did grab the Booyah. They also did grab 2 Booyahs away from Cougar, from who was it that replaced by Coscu in this match? But Coscu, every time he jumps into the match, into the game, he always brings Team Falcons high into that standing.
Yeah, I mean, they continue to show why they're so... Sorry, I'm distracted by your question. I think it was on fire. I could be wrong about
so. Yes, he's not on the list.
Yes. I mean, so far this team has been doing really, really good. I think that, yes, they had a couple of slow starts, but then again, I think that the lobby can be really hard to read sometimes. One day, you're getting really aggressive teams looking to get as many elimination points, and other teams who are deciding to play inner circle rather than outer circle even can be like a very interesting way to look at the professional scene as an opener for these teams to set themselves up for a booyah later down the line.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors really that has been identified, thought through, planned, and it's just some teams want to let their opponent believe that they're failing in some factors, but not with the confidence that I felt from Peter, not Team Falcons. They know what they have to do. They know they planned it out, and similar to what he mentioned about BTR, they might have been studying, but probably they're just copying it, and copying at some point will fail, especially if you don't understand what you're copying. So hopefully that the grudge match between Team Falcons and BTR will continue and will conclude on the finals and not just a knockout stage.
Yep, we'll give a round of applause to our MVP leaders right now. And for our RQ's very own Mal with 6 MVPs, 85 elims, and then some of the bigger dogs. 125 eliminations from Wasabi's. Everybody on that MVP list is stacked, and final game standings is 31 points. A big game for Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, Team Falcons, every time they grab a booyah, they put in a lot. That's just like that. That's why I'm questioning every time they fail. But again, going back, I know I'm circling back, but I'm just reminding you expect. But this is something that we didn't expect, really. WAG putting a lot of points, almost 100 to be exact, and they're just being followed by Team Falcons. So hopefully the same trajectory from WAG and other Vietnamese team will happen, especially for tomorrow, for those who really need the point.
I would say that WAG is on track, right, to that 150 points. They've basically broken the halfway point, which is 75. They just need another good day to close it out, and honestly, they should be giving themselves a pat on the back. This has not been easy whatsoever. In the overall standings, they're in 5th place at 500, just 9 points away from AG Global, who's literally right above them in 4th.
Yeah, I mean, that will be answered by tomorrow. The difference between these two teams is very close, as well as when it comes to engagement when they meet in the battlefield. But there you have it. RRQ managed to grab that #1 spot, but it's not a huge lead. Only 6 points against Buriram United. I'm pretty sure once Buriram United gets, they will try to bring it back to their side. But again, another day of FFWS, another day of Free Fire is over. I'm really happy on how it's turning up. Not just one team, not just always the same team over and over again, taking that #1 spot and that booyah.
Yeah, I think this is one exciting FFWS's overall, right? We've definitely had some top contenders before, but not this close. And we haven't even gotten to the point rush segment of it. I definitely think that, like, this point rush is going to be very different from what we've seen in the league overall.
Yeah, I mean, it's because Point Rush is like a preview what's going to happen in the finals. It just so happens that when you place more points, a little bit of a head start points when you get to the final stage. But again, a lot of changes, not only the roster, but the performance of the team is getting more and more excited. And we're just on day 11. Day 12 will be happening tomorrow, and not only that, a few more weeks. So the long run is really proving to be an exciting one, as Gideon did mention, because it's not just geared to one side, one region, or is showing that other teams has potential, other regions has potential to be that #1. And my heart is beating, like, it is pounding hard with excitement when we get to the final.
Get that tomorrow we will be seeing Group A and as well as Group C battle it out. Group C is going to have another opportunity to maybe, you know, recover some of the damage. So Group A isn't any easier. They still have some top dogs there as well.
Yeah, I mean, top dogs, Group A, and, well, they are 6 points, or they just need to catch 6 points to be able to take down RRQ, who will be resting, or the rest of the Group B will be resting for tomorrow. So, as we have it for the day, this is second day. We still have day number 3 tomorrow for the week, where we have to say goodbye and good night. I am Neptune, the one and only Gideon Q. Hope to see you tomorrow.